death was provided. Risa was born in Detroit, started as a gospel singer there, groomed by Mahalia Jackson, which inevitably led her to Chicago and churches here. And then after a stint at Detroit's Flame Bar, she entered Chicago's booming jazz scene for many years before heading west for television's Mod Squad in 1968. That woman could sing. Bulls make a second stop on their 4-game road trip tonight versus the Lakers at Staples Center. Connor Barth missing a 46-yard game-tying field goal against the Lions Sunday. Final straw. Bears released Barth yesterday and signed former Chiefs kicker Cairo Santos. Blair Walsh's miss in the closing seconds gave the Falcons a 34-31 Monday Night Football win over the Seahawks. College hoops last night. Notre Dame beat Chaminade in Maui. Pennsylvania topped Northern Illinois. NBA, the Celtics lost their first 2 games of the NBA season and one of their best players to a gruesome injury. They've now reeled off 16 straight wins after last night's 110-102 win over Dallas. If you're counting, by the way, that is only the 4th longest in Celtics history in terms of consecutive wins. The longest NBA win streak ever is held by the Lakers. Can you guess? 33 straight wins. The news, a service of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Do your friends and family know that you've registered as an organ, eye, and tissue donor? Share with them that you're one of more than 130 million people who've signed up to share the gift of life. Still need to sign up? Do it online at organdonor.gov. 5:07. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher is turning to the positive.
Anywhere else, you see that Trump claims that Putin didn't meddle in our election. There's such deception and such a fierce outrage. I just don't know when we're going to get the cork back in the bottle. I'm choosing right now in my life to look at some positives.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Here at HealthQuest, our high standard of healthcare doesn't come from a sickness care perspective, and neither should yours. And if you're not as healthy as you should be, and you're sick and tired of those health challenges, please call us. As we say here at HealthQuest, don't just stand there, do something. Do something good for yourself. Just this one time. This is Dr. David Kobaba. If you're like me and my wonderful HealthQuest staff, well, we know how much you love helping others in this challenging world of ours. Now, if you could raise your level of health and wellness, well then you could be of greater service to those you know and love. What a great perspective, but you've got to put this intention into action. So just don't stand there. Do something. Call our HealthQuest radio hotline right now, 1-800-794-1855. Do it now for yourself and a better future with higher health. 1-800-794-1855.
Looking for that magical holiday gift and not sure where to go? Don't worry, I have the perfect place. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher here to tell you that you need to give a gift from Roland's Jewelers. They'll help you create that magical holiday moment. You know that buying jewelry is all about trust. Well, Roland's Jewelers in downtown Libertyville is a place you can trust. Who else would offer AM 560 listeners up to $500 in savings on designer brands like Mickey Moto, John Hardy, and Roberto Coin? You can also save on luxury watches you love like Tag Heuer, Michelle, and Shinola. You know, as an AM 560 listener, you'll save up to $500 at Roland's Jewelers in downtown Libertyville. Visit RolandsJewelers.com, ROLLAND, RolandsJewelers.com. And this holiday season, trust Roland's to make all your gift-giving magical. Roland's Jewelers, a family-owned jeweler you can trust.
5:10. Let's get a check of the early morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. We have a reopening on the inbound Kennedy of the ramps to the outbound Eisenhower and eastbound Congress. They've been closed for some overnight work. The west side, Madison Street is still blocked. Near west side, between Ogden and Racine, that's till 7 this morning for some construction. The expressways and tollways, we have some delays, especially on the inbound side of I-57. It's heavy from Polstead to the merge. There was some overnight work, and there's the long-term closure of the left lane, although that should be wrapping up actually tomorrow. Outbound Stevenson before Cicero. There's a stall on the left shoulder. Careful there. In northwest Indiana, there were some earlier roadwork delays on 8094, but that's all lifted now, and traffic's moving pretty well in that area. Traffic is a service of Firestone Complete Auto Care. This season, give thanks to the car that helps you get through it. Come into Firestone Complete Auto Care and get $100 off for the purchase of $500 or more. The Black Friday Savings Event. Whenever you drive a Firestone. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answers starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Brian May.
Breezy and cooler today with clouds and sunshine, high 45. Colder tonight, clear skies, low 23. Sunshine and cold for tomorrow. We'll have a high tomorrow of 36. I'm Brian May on AM 560, The Answer.
We are just about at our high temperatures for the day. Temps will go down throughout the day. 43 right now at O'Hare, 44 along the lakefront, 41 this morning in Aurora. Your next news update is at 5:30 with breaking news as it happens. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by HealthQuest Radio with Dr. David Kolbaba. HealthQuest Radio is heard Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock here on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And I'll tell you, the Charlie Rose story is really something. I mean, it just keeps getting not better, really worse, I would say. Charlie Rose, of course, venerable newsman.
Do you want to reenact some scenes?
And interviewer. Charlie Rose accused of groping and otherwise harassing with lewd calls at all hours of the day.
Dan, I want to see you swim in a pool. Take your clothes off slowly.
Okay.
Now pretend like you're entering the pool.
Sure. No
That's
problem.
what he would do.
What else do you want me to do?
One of his assistants. Well, I just want you to tolerate it while I take all my clothes off and just start walking around naked in front of all of you, huh?
So
that's appropriate behavior.
Charlie Rose learned yesterday that showing up to production meetings without pants on can be construed as insensitive by some. So this is a real teachable moment. It's kind of one of those the more you know with the star trailing it.
Right.
So yeah, for people in the corporate professional world, production meetings, particularly those that involve men and women, but really regardless. I mean, as a man, I would also say if you're going to be in a meeting with me, put some pants on. Thank you.
In a meeting with Dan, put some pants on.
I don't think that's a lot to ask. Charlie Rose has been suspended from CBS.
Oh, no.
PBS is not going to distribute his sort of intolerable interview show, except when Bill Buckley was on. It was about the only time I could tolerate it.
And one of the women said, I would have gone to HR, but at Charlie Rose's PBS show, there was no HR because he was in charge of that show, the executive producer, talent, and just there's nobody to complain to. And since this article came out in the Washington Post, 20 more women have contacted reporters at the Post complaining of, similar behavior, but this pattern of abuse. And the thing is that he thought that they wanted it.
Charlie Rose's statement.
Yeah, please, Dan.
In my 45 years of journalism, I've prided myself on being an advocate for the careers of the women with whom I have worked. I consider myself an advocate for the careers of women with whom I've worked. I'm not, but I do consider myself one.
We're just sex toys.
He goes on, nevertheless, in the past few days, claims have been made about my behavior towards some former female colleagues. It is essential that these women know I hear them.
You see me and I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
The more you know.
And that I deeply apologize for my inappropriate behavior. I'm greatly embarrassed. Who knew you couldn't show up to meetings? I've behaved insensitively at times, and I accept responsibility for that, though I do not believe that all of these allegations are accurate. I always felt like I was pursuing shared feelings,
Yeah, there you go.
even though I now realize I was mistaken.
Shared feelings.
I've learned a great deal as a result of these events, and I hope others will too. Oh, I've learned a ton. Thank you, Charlie. All of us, including me, are coming to a newer and deeper recognition of the pain caused by conduct in the past, and have come to a profound new respect for women and their lives. No, not really. Mine has not changed since I learned of your behavior.
But you think, I mean, I could name 5 male anchors that I've worked with. I mean, I worked in 7 different states for ABC, CBS, Fox that were just whore dogs.
Nobody wore pants.
No.
But that was a different era. You were in the Ron Burgundy era.
You know what they did? They had bars in their offices. That is the difference. And they would get schmammied and say horrible things to women and talk about women, and then invite other anchors in. Come on into my office.
Oh,
pop a cold one.
All these
the most
male feminists.
disgusting. And even one was an anchor in Detroit. He gave a lot of money to John Conyers, and you're like, you're not supposed to do that, dum.
Well, I'll tell you what. It's
John Conyers is in a little bit of trouble this morning too.
It's nice to have. My theory confirmed that the only industry where there are more people of ill repute than politics is media.
I completely agree.
John Conyers.
He allegedly, it's been learned this morning through BuzzFeed, that he paid out somebody that worked for him $27,000 because he made unwanted sexual advances toward her that were inappropriate.
How do you arrive at $27,000?
I don't know. That's what they concluded was supposed to be, non-disclosure, but it's come out. It's come out. Excuse me. It came out.
Yes, it's been done both.
He didn't request sexual favors. He would rub their legs and backs in public. And it wasn't just one.
Charlie
woman.
Rose.
One he settled with, but the 4 other people have come forward too.
Charlie Rose was a massage guy too. What's the deal with these with guys that give people unwanted massages? Hey, what's going on? How about a little back rub, leg rub? Who does that? The thing
Who
that's
walks around with a bottle of lotion? I mean, really?
Well,
yeah.
Well, the human stain does, and
He
apparently
did. His assistant always had a bottle of lotion with her.
And apparently, well, here's the thing. In terms of Charlie Rose, misunderstanding that the feelings were mutual. Here's a tip. Again, another office tip. Let's turn it into a bit of an after-school special. If your moniker in the office place is the crusty paw, then the feelings aren't mutual. You're welcome. All right. I think we're making a lot of progress this morning.
In the John Conyers case, 4 signed affidavits, 3 of which are notarized, who allege that Conyers, that the ranking Democrat on the powerful House Judiciary Committee, repeatedly made sexual advances toward them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Asking them for transportation, asking them verbally for sexual favors.
That sounds about right.
Hey, how about
we've got
rub
some,
me down here?
Well, we've got some exclusive office audio of Charlie Rose that I'd like to play. Yeah.
Okay. This PBS office.
We have searched every square inch of this base, and all we have found is porno. Porno! Porno!
We have only 20 minutes left. Send in the esteemed representatives of television. Hey! Now this is my kind of meeting.
So that's Charlie Rose in his office.
How did you
setting.
get that? That is just...
Yeah.
It's really, it says it all.
There's more Charlie Rose at the office Christmas party.
I don't want to hit a sore spot, but can we talk about herpes? Herpes, bull, burpees, banana, fana, full herpes, herpes. Oh! Hey, that spot on Gorbachev's head? Herpes, trust me. Anybody here have herpes? Huh? You people are the worst audience I've ever seen.
That was back in the 80s when the Gorbachev jokes were more popular than they are today.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
And just to close the loop on Conyers, she claims that she was fired in 2014 because she refused his sexual advances.
I believe her. Conyers should step down.
That's the thing. Should he step down? I mean, that was part of the $17 million that Congress paid out to people. She got $27,000 of it.
Conyers should step down for his voting record.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Regardless of all of this.
Today, a blend of sun and clouds. Wow, that sounds romantic. Breezy but cooler, a high of 45 degrees.
Don't egg Charlie Rose on.
And then tomorrow, mostly sunny, very cold, a high of 35. And on Thanksgiving Day, we're going to have partly sunny skies around here and a high of 41 degrees. Let's get into our alarm detection systems traffic center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. Good morning. Good morning, Dan. Near west side of Chicago, Madison is blocked off. Between Ogden and Racine for some morning construction. That closure is scheduled till 7 a.m. Downtown, ramps from the inbound Kennedy, the outbound Eisenhower and eastbound Congress, they've reopened. On the Stevenson outbound, just before Cicero, watch out for a stall on the left shoulder. We're not seeing any significant delay there. Inbound Ryan, just a little congestion approaching downtown. Outbound, there's work from 87th to the split in the 3 left lanes. On I-57, got about a 2-minute delay approaching the merge. Bishop Ford, a little bit of a slowdown as well approaching the Ryan. Tollways are good. There is some morning work on the southbound Tri-State. I-80 to Bishop Ford, the 2 right lanes. And earlier delays on 80-94 have dissipated. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
This Thanksgiving holiday, you know, one of the things I'm thankful for, Amy.
What? Carlos at Dunkin' Donuts?
Exactly.
Really?
Carlos at Dunkin' Donuts in Addison and Elston, because he uses you as a mule to traffic coffee and delightful sandwiches to me. And I appreciate that. Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do on this show each morning. Long-form interviews with opinion leaders are against the current series this week, featuring both Colonel Oliver North as well as Dinesh D'Souza, filmmaker, best-selling author. You want to check those out. 60 Seconds of Sanity, commentaries from me, 2-minute warnings from Pat Hughes, podcasts of our Illinois Rising program covering state policy and politics, which airs Sundays at 3 p.m. on these airwaves. Follow the Logic, Man on the Street interviews, as well as our new series, Heart of the Matter, featuring professional women speaking collegially about the important issues of the day and the impact on families. And then our sister site, defendhomeowners.com, defendhomeowners.com, free property tax report to get a better understanding of how property taxes, the highest in the nation here in Illinois, are decimating your home value and what you can do about it, like download a petition to help us get the necessary signatures to get an advisory question on the 2018 ballot that would change, propose to change Illinois' property tax system to mirror Indiana's, cut your property taxes, return your home equity, and improve your quality of life in the land of Lincoln. All the property tax info, defendhomeowners.com. Everything else, upstream-ideas.com.
Risks and disclosures. Message and data rates may apply. This is not tax or legal advice. Please speak to your CPA and attorney before investing. Accredited investors only. Real estate has no guarantees for income or appreciation, and a complete loss of principal is possible. Securities offered through Wealthforge Securities, LLC, member FINRA SIPC.
Are you thinking of a 1031 exchange? Tired of managing your own rental property and dealing with tenants, toilets, and trash? Want to defer your taxes on the sale of appreciated real estate? Hi, I'm Dwight Kay, CEO of Kay Properties and Investments, and we specialize in 1031 exchange replacement properties, triple net, DST, and TIC. We help investors nationwide, and I want to help you too. In fact, I'll send you a free copy of my book on 1031 exchanges, how they work, things to look out for, and strategies others may not know. Plus, I'll send you a list of currently available 1031 properties also for free.
For your free 1031 exchange book and free property list, just text the word GUIDE to 543-543 now. It's a free book and a free list with no obligations to you. Again, text GUIDE to 543-543. GUIDE to 543-543.
DS Arms is the factory direct outlet for firearms and accessories where you can find all major brands of firearms in stock. And DS Arms is an actual firearms manufacturer. For 30 years, they've been manufacturing custom rifles used by police, military, and you. Purchase your rifle factory direct and support American manufacturing jobs. DS Arms can also set you up with automatic knives, spare magazines, optics, and every accessory. DS Arms is in Lake Barrington off of Route 14 and Pepper Road. Call 847-277-7260 or visit dsarms.com. DS Arms, much more than a gun store.
Hey there, beer lovers. Let your freedom be heard. If you love freedom, patriotism, and the craft beer revolution, then Gun Craft Beer is the brew for you. You can purchase Gun Craft Beer all over Chicagoland. For a list of locations, visit guncraftbeer.com. And be sure to follow Gun Craft Beer on Facebook and Instagram. So salute the red, white, and brew by enjoying the freedom you can taste with Gun Craft Beer.
Risk mitigation is an important consideration that smart companies pay attention to in today's complicated business climate. Some of the greatest risks occur when your company hires new employees or when you execute new business financial relationships. When your company hires, leases, or conducts financial transactions, decisions are critical. That's why veteran-owned and operated Global Verification Network is a company you should know. Startups to Fortune 100s trust Global Verification Network, and so should you. They're a background screening and investigative services company dedicated to expert, timely, and affordable background screening services for employment, tenant screening, and business due diligence. Global Verification Network is headquartered in Chicagoland, a federally recognized veteran-owned small business, and never offshores data like many competitors. To request your company's risk analysis without obligation or cost, visit globalverificationnetwork.com or call 877-695-1179. Or visit them online at globalverificationnetwork.com. Global Verification Network, the risk mitigation experts, 877-695-1179.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, one thing that's interesting to watch develop is left media cannibalizing other leftists in the media. So another brick in the wall that has been dislodged, Glen Thrush.
Yeah, I mean, Glen Thrush, that news broke about 3 hours before the Charlie Rose news broke, so a lot of people didn't get to see this headline.
Glen Thrush, this is the guy who used to be at Politico. He wears the fedora.
He's featured on Saturday Night Live a lot. You know, they mock him.
Yeah. He famously, in one of the emails that was disclosed during the 2016 campaign, referred to himself, now that I've become a complete hack, in sending a story to John Podesta, Hillary Clinton's campaign chairman, about Hillary prior to its publication for essentially review. So that's the great journalist. And because of that great journalistic prowess, after the election, he was hired by the New York Times, which is where he is now. Well not anymore.
He's suspended.
I don't think because I've become a complete hack is going to cut it here. And the outlet that outed him, Vox, another left-wing outlet, interviewing multiple women who alleged sexual misconduct against Thrush, including unwanted groping and kissing.
Yeah, and this happened usually after a night of drinking, and they'd be out, and he'd be in a booth with them and kind of like cram them into the booth so they couldn't get out. And Thrush kissed one against her will and put his hand on her thigh. What is up with all these people? Keep your hands to yourself. Don't touch my thighs.
I love it too. These sort of non-apology apologies. I apologize to any woman who felt uncomfortable in my presence and for any situation where I behaved inappropriately. Well, did you or didn't you? I want your perspective, not you responding to their perspective and just pandering. He said, as an excuse, as you sort of referenced, over the past several years, I've responded to a succession of personal and health crises, like being hired by the New York Times, by drinking heavily. During that period, I've done things that I'm ashamed of, actions that have brought great hurt to my family and friends. Well,
and he doesn't drink anymore, he said.
Well, since June or something. I don't know. Square those two statements. Over that period, I've done things I'm ashamed of, actions that have brought great hurt to my family, but I apologize to any woman who felt uncomfortable. So which is it?
Well, that said, he made it worse, exacerbated his situation, because then the next day he'd be in, one of the editorial meetings and say that the 20-year-old girl was hitting on him. Like, she hit on me last night. Did you see that? She wants some of the thruster. But, I mean, it's just, this is the same guy who posted a Facebook blasting political journalist Mark Halperin over allegations of sexual misconduct.
Imagine.
So it's like,
imagine a journalist living in a glass house.
But then after the 20-year-old
How shocking.
pushed her up against, the booth in the bar, he emailed her the next day, nice meeting you. And then in parentheses, any apologies? Like, did I do something bad? Are we okay? Are we on the same page?
Because I got a bit of a drinking problem.
And a handsy problem. Everyone's a little handsies these days. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
All right, Lee Korfman's big interview on the Today Show while detailing her allegations against Roy Moore. We'll have it at 5:38.
And later, protected status ends for Haitians, sending 60,000 back to that island. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
42 degrees. We have some clouds this morning. Watch the winds from the southwest at 15. Japan's leader moments ago welcomes America's redesignation of North Korea as a state sponsor of terror. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe telling reporters in Tokyo Japan supports the move by the United States as a way to pressure North Korea. Federal judge stopping President Trump's executive order to cut funding to sanctuary cities. District court judge saying that order unconstitutional, the judge believes, on its face. The Trump administration wants the Supreme Court to have all of its latest travel bans go into effect pending appeal. Different versions of the ban have been blocked by courts. The current ban, blocked by a court in Hawaii, restricts travel from 8 countries. The head of AT&T this morning troubled by the Justice Department's lawsuit to block a merger with CNN, Time Warner.
The government has filed a lawsuit, and it stretches the very reach of antitrust law beyond the breaking point. All of this in an effort to stop this combination.
At a press conference, the chairman and CEO, Randall Stephenson, says the company will not part with CNN and will not allow an agreement that gives the perception of compromising the First Amendment. State Department is giving the green light to a potential $10.5 billion arms deal with Poland this morning. Broadcaster Charlie Rose is being suspended as allegations of sexual harassment mount. Authorities in suburban Detroit called for evacuations after a massive overnight gas line fire. It's in Oakland County, where the blaze broke out late Monday night in Orion Township, about 30 miles north of Detroit. Facebook photographs posted by police in Auburn Hills show flames shooting several dozen feet into the night sky. Chicago aldermen are expected to approve Mayor Emanuel's 2018 proposed Chicago budget later today. The spending plan lifting your taxes for the 6th time in 7 years. The county board will vote later today on a $200 million budget cut created by the repeal of the Cook County soda tax. Hundreds of county employees are expected to be laid off, although there could be final changes. A Chicago police officer accused of using excessive force in 2013 is headed to prison. Marco Proano was sentenced to 5 years behind bars. McDonald's is announcing it will demolish a suburban icon, a museum that's a replica of Ray Kroc's first restaurant. Kroc is considered by the corporation to be the hamburger chain's founder. He built his first restaurant in 1955 in Des Plaines, after franchising the brand from the original owners, Richard and Maurice McDonald. The Tribune reports the store was torn down in 1984. McDonald's Store No. 1 Museum opened up the next year with the original restaurant sign out front. The site was very popular with tourists, but repeated flooding by the Des Plaines River forced the museum to bar access in 2008. Bulls make the second stop on their 4-game road trip tonight versus the Lakers at Staples Center. Connor Barth dismissed from the Bears after missing a game-tying field goal attempt Sunday against the Lions. Blackhawks face a tough challenge tonight when they take on the Lightning. Tampa Bay's 32 points, the most in the NHL. The news, a service of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Do your friends and family know that you've registered as an organ, eye, and tissue donor? Share with them that you're one of more than 130 million people who've signed up to share the gift of life. Go to organdonor.gov. 534, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher shares his theory on how to stop a mass shooter.
That the only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun, and I absolutely want you to refute that if you can. It says it all. Every single shooting like this ends this way. It's difficult to fight the argument. If more people are armed, more shootings will end quicker.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, great coffee, period.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth. We all know increasing revenue's tough, but did you know that 100% of main sources of income fail? The odds are 100% that your current main source of income will someday no longer exist. 439 of 1955's original Fortune 500 are no longer around, yet their industries and even their product lines still thrive. What happened to these companies? Simple. They didn't believe that 100% of main sources of income fail. They never added a second revenue model. For years, my friends at Income Store have helped both households and businesses build second, third, and even fourth revenue streams. When it comes to helping people create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Go to IncomeStore.com today. That's IncomeStore.com.
536. Let's get an update on the morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, the very latest with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. We see no problem for delays on the Hedons right now or the Kennedy. The Eisenhower is still okay. They're starting to get a little bit of congestion east of 25th Avenue. Stevenson inbound. About a 1-minute delay Ashland to the Ryan. The Ryan, about a 1-minute delay 18th into downtown. Outbound of its site 87th to 95th with road work in the 3 left lanes. So you've got also a brief slowdown there. I-57, 17 minutes. I-80 to the Murray. Bishop Ford 20. The delay starting at 111th. Tollways are all good. No delays to report right now in northwest Indiana. Traffic, the service of Chevrolet. It's the Chevy closeout. The 2017s are going fast. Find special closeout pricing on many of their most popular 2017 Chevy models. Visit your local Chevy dealer. Trade up to a car, truck, or crossover today. Chevrolet, find new roads. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Full of clouds and sun today, breezy and cooler, a high of 45. Temperatures dropping throughout the afternoon. A clear and colder night ahead, a low of 23. Currently 43. Next news at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with host Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So Lee Korfman sat down with Savannah Guthrie on the Today Show yesterday, her first interview, to detail her allegations against Roy Moore. Again, this is the woman who alleges an inappropriate meeting when she was 14 years of old and subsequently a date, I guess, with Roy Moore. I mean, it's not a date. She's 14 years old. It's creepy. But
right. She painted a really amazing picture, I think, of that night and what happened.
Did you believe her?
We'll get to it. Oh, I believed her 100%.
All right. We'll take your calls if you believe Lee Korfman. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. And let's hear from her. Here's Lee Korfman describing the incident.
I met him around the corner from my house. My mother did not know. And he took me to his home. After arriving at his home, on the second occasion that I went with him, he basically laid out some blankets on the floor of his living room and proceeded to seduce me, I guess you would say. And during the course of that, he removed my clothing. He left the room and came back in wearing his white underwear. And he touched me over my clothing, what was left of it. And he tried to get me to touch him as well. And at that point, I pulled back and said that I was not comfortable, and I got dressed, and he took me home. But I was a 14-year-old child trying to play in an adult's world, and he was 32 years old.
And she said she told a few friends. He called again, and she did not meet up with him the next time, and that was the end of it.
Oh, yeah, she said she made an excuse.
Come the party of Roy Moore.
When he called again, I didn't go. I made an excuse, and I didn't go.
And so why wait 40 years, of course, is one of the operative questions. And she sort of described this previously, but she elaborates on the previous description here.
Why wait? How do you respond to that? Well, it's very simple, really. I did tell people. My family knew. Family friends knew. My friends knew. I spent a lot of time every time he came up, railing against, him and what he had done to me when I was 14 years old. My children were small. I was a single parent. And when you're in that situation, you do everything you can to protect your own.
So that's the explanation. And this was an interesting development, too. It's just the disclosure that she didn't seek out media attention. The Washington Post found her.
The Washington Post sought me out. I didn't go looking for this. This fell in my lap. It literally fell in my lap. And I had to make a decision. And I told them that at that time, the reporters, who were all just wonderful to me, that if they found additional people, that I would tell my story.
And, of course, they did.
Yeah, they brought 3 other people, and then she did tell her story. But she was real. I mean, she was gracious. You can tell that she's been affected by this, and it's been hard to relive it because so many people have come down on her for coming forward and have ridiculed her.
Although she's also said that the response that she's received within her circles has been overwhelmingly positive.
And she said they're a beautiful thing that has happened.
I think it's a combination of all of those things. My sorrow that others have had to go through this. But here's the beauty of what has happened. The support has been amazing. Women and men have come forward to tell their stories that have never had the ability to do so because of my courageous actions.
When she said,
"Well, hold on a second. That last part of it, I thought, just struck me as a little odd. Did it because of my courageous actions? Is that a little unsettling to you? I mean, I'm not.
Well, it did take courage to come forward.
I know, but that's normally something you have other people say.
You don't say it yourself.
Like
you don't ask people to thank you.
It was just a weird. It was just sort of a weird moment. I believe her story, so I'm not discounting what she said. I just thought that was weird because of my courageous actions. I don't know. Maybe
But
I'm being
she said
too
because
idiosyncratic.
Savannah Guthrie asked her, Roy Moore says he's never even met you. And she said, well, I wonder how many me's there are out there. So 312-642-5600. Does this change your opinion about Roy Moore? Because remember on the outset I said if this woman comes forward and tells her story and is believable, then he's done. And now I'm thinking he is done.
Dennis in Crystal Lake.
Dan, this woman is the biggest liar on the face of the planet. There's 3 words she used. There's no such thing as beauty in it. And I'll tell you what, she said she told her family, I'm the father of 2 girls. Yes, Amy, I do procreate. And
good to know.
If my daughter came to me at 14 years old and told me a story similar to this, he would either be a spot on the sidewalk of blood, or there'd be a police blotter a mile long.
No, so Dennis, hold on a second. So just for clarity's sake, she said that after the incident, she told a few friends, not that she told her parents.
Oh no, she said told her family.
She told her mom 4 years ago or 2 years ago.
Yeah, she told her family as an adult talking to her kids is what she was referring to, and her husband or ex-husband. That's what she was referring
I could
to.
care less. If I'm 80 years old, I'm going after the guy. You don't understand. As a non-parent, Dan, you don't know what it's like.
No, well, I don't.
You should be sticking up for this guy, because you know if something happened to your kids, you'd be at him too.
Yeah, I thanks for the call, Dennis. I do. Yeah, you're right. I'm not a parent, but I do.
But
can't
you play one on the radio.
I can intellectually understand this, and I understand. So if somebody did something to one of my nephews, would I get involved?
Heck yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So I understand that, but
or one of my kids.
Well, yeah, of course, Peyton and Eli, very fond of. But here's the thing. Not every situation is the same. She talked about talking to her friends who told her, essentially advised her not to see him again, and she didn't. and then many years later she tells her family. You don't know what her situation was with her father when she was an adult. I have no idea. So, we're presuming a lot of facts, not in evidence. The fair thing to do is based on what she said and her answers to those questions, just like we did with Roy Moore with his Sean Hannity interview. Do you find her answers and her description credible, or don't you?
And is it, Roy's despicable sins? Is it okay in order to get tax reform? And is it okay to vote for him in order to get tax reform pushed through the Senate? I mean, that's what Kellyanne Conway was suggesting yesterday.
Well, right. There's a political argument to be made that this is about, essentially take the baseline that all politicians are varying levels of purveyors of moral turpitude, and
I love moral turpitude.
Well, you shouldn't. It's because it's a bad thing.
It's it's going to be on the crossword puzzle.
Well, that's right. Yeah. By the way, who we got to check in with the words with Prof crossword puzzle and find out who won the undisclosed prize. So politicians are just the means to policy, and so all I'm focused on is the policy. And Roy Moore is going to vote my interests, and Doug Jones isn't. So that's the calculus. I mean, that's what some people are saying.
Yeah. Are you going to vote your party, or are you going to stick with your moral conscience?
Debbie in Schaumburg.
Hi, good morning. I'm jumping on She's a Liar bandwagon.
Okay.
She lied to her mom where she was going that night, apparently, or day.
Wow.
So she's a liar there. You don't want to know where your 14-year-old daughter's going. You don't say where, and you don't confirm where your 14-year-old girl's going. She probably lied to him about her age because she had big starry eyes for a district attorney. And too bad his last name wasn't Polanski because he would be getting an award for this. That's all I have to say.
Well, thanks for the call, Debbie. Right, except Roman Polanski wasn't running for federal office. I'm not excusing Roman Polanski. He should be prosecuted. He's a pedophile. But it's the kind of, because there are other bad actors, somehow excuses Roy Moore? I don't think so. In terms of the 14-year-old lying about her whereabouts?
That happens every day in my house.
I mean, come on. Kids sneaking out to do something they know their parents wouldn't otherwise allow?
That happens every day.
I don't know that undermines her story. I don't know. David in Milwaukee.
I'll go with the previous caller to some extent. First of all, okay, now life is an ABC after-school special. I was a child in an adult world. She probably did lie about her age. She probably didn't know her age. And then when he left her alone, and nothing really happened. So she doesn't know why she's coming out all these years later, or the book, or the movie, or the perks. This is crazy. These are allegations, and everybody's freaking out. It's unbelievable. I don't know about voting for him or not voting for him, but we're suddenly finding out that rich, powerful men sometimes take advantage of women.
Well, this is. I'm sorry, but this is the 14-year-old girl.
He didn't know she was 14.
How do you know what he knew?
Because she admitted it. She said she was a child in an adult world.
No. David, no. Thanks for the call. You don't know what Roy Moore knew. Roy Moore hasn't said that.
But if she wanted to really stick it to him, and if she was such a liar, she wouldn't say the truth. She said, I felt uncomfortable. I asked him to take me home, and he took me home.
Well, yeah.
I mean, if she wanted to stick, if she was such a liar, she'd say, oh, no, then he did this and that, and then,
let's get to the age thing here for a second, though. One is you have no idea what Roy Moore knew because Roy Moore hasn't been asked. Well, Roy Moore denies it. He denies even knowing her. So it's interesting that some of the Roy Moore defenders, or those accusing her of a liar, are conceding that it happened. And now they're making an excuse for why it happened. Oh, by the way, just so you know, confusing of the idea of having a sexual contact with a 14-year-old and using the defense, I thought she was 18, since people want to apply the criminal standard to this political race. Do you think that's a defense that holds up in court? I thought she was 18, Your Honor. Or whatever the age of consent is. No, it doesn't. So I just wanted to stop and take notice of some people conceding Korfman's story and then rationalizing Moore's conduct with a defense that would never stand up in a court of law while trying to give Roy Moore the reasonable doubt standard in a political race. Do you understand some of the problems with that line of argumentation, the logical gaps in that line of argumentation? Dave at Midway.
Yes, good morning. Great show, as always.
Thank you.
Both of you.
It's all Dan. Thanks.
I was listening to the tape you guys played of her testimony, and it was very compelling. I was with Amy. I believe her. Yep, that seals it. It's done. Until, and I agree with Dan on this. I agree with Dan on this more than Dan. Until that very last thing, it really set me off when she said, because of my courageous actions. And I have a very quick analogy, and I'll let you go with this. If someone hands me a drink, whatever kind of drink, and I start to sip it, this is good, this is a good drink, and all of a sudden, there's a fly floating in a corner of that drink. It's like, the drink's done, throw it out, it's disgusting, it's over.
You take the fly out.
And that did it for me. I'm like, you know what, there's a fly in the ointment. I'm through with that woman's story right there. Sorry, that's just how it hit me.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for the call, Dave. Yeah, it was a weird choice of words for me.
Telling people to thank you for something you did.
Chris in Kansasville.
Yeah, I actually do not believe this woman. And my reasoning is that I believe people overplay things in their head so they absolutely believe them. And that's what I think has happened here.
So you think that she's not purposely lying, but she's created like a false memory?
Yes, I do. And I think a lot of people do it. I know people that, a lot of people do it because you talk to different people and they'll see the same thing, but they'll all have a different spin on it. And I think years later, they stick with whatever story they stuck with, and it just, it becomes their reality.
No, that's true.
Thanks
Psychologists
call,
say that too. If you tell a lie over and over again, you actually believe in some way that it's true.
Well, yeah,
it's
but
the truth, especially if it happened during your adolescence.
This isn't like one of those recovered memory cases, though. It's not like she didn't remember this and all of a sudden she remembered it. At least that's not her story.
The way she described how he laid out the blanket in the dining room and then left and came back in his underwear, it was a little creepy.
White underwear.
Oh.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. On AM 560. The Answer.
You're busy running around shopping for holiday presents. Just make sure you save the best present for yourself. A brand new Ford car, truck, or SUV from Joe Cotton Ford in Carroll Stream. 'Tis the season to celebrate the Ford year-end clearance and stuff your stocking with the best savings of the year. No more waiting. Now is the time to get to Joe Cotton Ford with 250 brand new vehicles that have to be up the lot before the end of the year to make room for the 2018 models. You won't find a better deal or selection. And remember, Joe Cotton is a different kind of car dealer where family owned and operated really means something. They're not a big dealer group just cranking out customers to hit a sales quota. You'll get the white glove treatment without all the hype and pressure. Maybe that's why generations of Ford buyers and their families keep coming back to Joe Cotton Ford. Get to Joe Cotton Ford today and drive home your new Ford car, truck, or SUV for the holidays. Gary and North Avenue in Carroll Stream or at joecottonford.com. That's joecottonford.com.
Roof is needy?
Call Grumweedy.
630-595-8020.
Roof is leaky? Call Grumweedy.
630-595-8020.
Shingles are curly?
Call Grumweedy.
630-595-8020.
Roof isn't right after it's stormy? Call Grumweedy.
630-595-8020.
Here comes winter. Well, soon. This is Mark Olson.
And Greg Olson of Crumweedy.
Since 1953, the roof guys for your home and business.
We fix roof problems.
Get it done before the winter comes.
Hate the high pressure?
Not from us.
We give you multiple options. Then you choose.
A roof that lasts at a fair price.
We fix roof problems.
When your roof is needy,
call Grumweedy. How about the number?
630-595-8020. 630-595-8020.
Call us. We make sure your warranty is in place. Crumweedy, 630...
Wait. Just remember, myroofisneedy.com.
if you have pain, listen up, Dennis Prager here. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You don't have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. So Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of its side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com.
Famous conservative quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
Our third president, Thomas Jefferson, stated, "All tyranny needs to gain a foothold is for people of good conscience to remain silent." What a great reminder to all.
I know you support companies that share your conservative values. For FDA-regulated staffing needs, Automated Systems provides top talent, from experienced quality control and quality assurance engineers to top validation and compliance experts. Depend on Automated Systems. Hiring the best is critical to success. ASI Resources are all degreed professionals with decades of experience in manufacturing, automation, and FDA compliance. That's why ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life science companies to successful startups. For a staffing evaluation, call Laz at Automated Systems, toll-free 844-HIRE-ASI, or visit AutomatedSYS.com.
5:57. Let's get an update on the roads this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Kennedy inbound. It's heavy now. Cumberland to Canfield. Looking at a 22-minute travel time from O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 5 at 20. Edens is clear. Inbound Eisenhower slow through the avenues. 34 minutes, 390 to the Burn Circle. Outbound 5 at 29. Stevenson, 38 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 19 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound 17 after some overnight work from 87th to 95th. I-57, 18 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop 423. Tollways are good, no problem to report on I-80 or in Northwest Indiana. Traffic is a service of Dell. Dell's Black Friday sale is on through November 26th with the lowest prices of the year. Free shipping and extended returns. Check out the huge doorbusters on electronics and laptops with Intel Core processors. Visit Dell.com/Black Friday or call 800-BUY-DELL. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Brian May.
Clouds and sunshine today, breezy and cooler, high 45, but temperatures falling in the middle 30s. Tonight, clear and colder, low 23, sunny and cold tomorrow, high 36. I'm Brian May on AM 560. The Answer.
Currently in Chicago, we have 43 degrees at O'Hare, 43 along Chicago's lakefront. The news, a service of Firestone Complete Auto Care this season. Give thanks to the car that helps you get through it. Come into Firestone Complete Auto Care and get $100 off with purchase of $500 or more during the Black Friday savings event. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone. 5:59. Here are the stories we're following this morning on AM 560, The Answer. Chicago aldermen are expected to approve Mayor Emanuel's 2018 proposed budget today. Some last-minute negotiations could reshape the Cook County budget, up for a vote today before the Cook County Board. Chicago firefighter is recovering from burns following a blaze on the west side overnight. Authorities are searching for the person who shot and killed a man in Palos Heights. Police say the victim was shot inside a home yesterday. Man died at a nearby hospital. The shooter apparently drove off following the exchange of gunfire. Bulls make their second stop on their 4-game road trip tonight against the Lakers at Staples Center. The Blackhawks tonight take on Tampa Bay. More Dan and Amy after Fox. WIND Chicago News Time 6.
President Trump finds no sanctuary in court. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. A federal judge has again ruled against his executive order that went after so-called sanctuary cities. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, this ruling says the Trump administration cannot cut off federal funding to jurisdictions which refuse to cooperate with U.S. immigration authorities. U.S. District Court Judge William Orrick says the White House does not have the authority to impose new conditions on spending already approved by Congress. Cracking down on sanctuary cities was one of President Trump's campaign promises, and he signed an executive order shortly after taking office. The judge's ruling nullifies that order. Dave?
Rachel, a murder trial in a 2015 shooting that generated a lot of debate about sanctuary cities goes to a jury today.
In closing arguments, prosecutors said Jose Inez Garcia Zarate was playing his own secret game of Russian roulette on the San Francisco pier, intending to fire the gun. The bullet hit Kate Steinle, killing her while she walked with her father. But his defense attorneys say he found the gun on the pier. It had been stolen from a Bureau of Land Management ranger. They call the prosecutor's theory that he wanted to hurt someone a wild narrative, arguing the gun accidentally went off.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal, an accused cop in Pennsylvania, was a cop killer in Pennsylvania, captured early this morning. Ramel Holt facing a murder charge for what happened Friday night near Pittsburgh. Police say he ran from a traffic stop and shot and killed a rookie officer during the chase. There's a $20,000 reward in Texas, searching for whoever attacked two Border Patrol agents. Both had traumatic head injuries and broken bones.
Officials will only say that Martinez and his partner responded to activity. Moments later, the partner called for help on the radio, saying that they were both hurt. The agents were transported to an area hospital where Agent Martinez passed away.
Fox's Casey Stiegel. CBS This Morning has started on TV without Charlie Rose. He's been suspended, accused by 8 women of either groping or making unwanted sexual advances. PBS has also halted Rose's interview show. He apologized but said he didn't think all the allegations are accurate. Fox News, fair and balanced.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. And hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
I'm Jay Farner from Quicken Loans. Choosing the right mortgage lender involves much more than just a rate. Quicken Loans has earned 11 J.D. Power Awards for client satisfaction. And we invented Rocket Mortgage, a simpler, hassle-free way to get a mortgage completely online. No one else has anything like it. So choose Quicken Loans, America's #1 online lender. Call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Equal housing lender, NMLS number 3030. Home isn't just a place, it's a feeling that you're safe to enjoy the things that matter most. ADT lets you take that feeling with you, whether you're at home, your business, or online. We help keep you safe with security systems, home automation, alarms, and surveillance, so you can feel at home wherever you are. Go to ADT.com to get that feeling for less than $1 a day. ADT. Home, safe home.
If you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, your dental health. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You hear a lot of people screaming at you about dental implants. Get it done in a day, or we can treat everybody, or hundreds of thousands of implants. Look, successful implants don't come from an implant factory. What you don't hear talked about is skill, treatment, and installation. These are what make for successful lifelong implants. And that's why you need to see Dr. Norouzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Norouzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants. You need the experience, skill, and honesty that 24 years of dental implants brings.
This is Dr. Norouzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics, 630-232-7400, 630-232-7400, or just remember, implantsforme.com, implantsforme.com.
So many tools all over the place and not enough cabinet space. This garage is a mess. Time to get organized with StoreLock, the best tool cabinet you'll ever buy. And it's 100% made in the USA in Kankakee with a 55-year guarantee from top to bottom. StoreLock is a modular, durable storage system with dividers, liners, and layouts, all made to order exactly how you want it. Each drawer holds up to 400 pounds and is powder-coated in-house with any color you want. And it's fully assembled when it ships. You'll get organized fast. StoreLock StoreLock can handle any size room or facility. They can do systems for airline hangars to fire departments to modular workstations for your shop. Anywhere and everywhere you need quality storage that will last a lifetime at a factory direct price. It's time to get your home, garage, or business organized. Call the owner, Mike Ryan, personally at 1-800-786-7562. That's 1-800-STOR-LOC. Or go to StoreLock.com. Don't miss StoreLock at the Greater Peoria Farm Show at the Peoria Civic Center in Peoria, November 28th through the 30th.
With the holidays approaching, now's the perfect time to purchase 2 gifts and only pay for 1. Or give a gift and keep 1 for yourself. Yes, folks, the MyPillow buy 1, get 1 free offer is back. I urge you to go online or call now and take advantage. By using the promo code Amy, you'll get the absolute best deal available. I personally love my MyPillows. I get a great night's sleep by moving the fill to give me the support I need, regardless of my sleep position. And I never wake up with a stiff neck or headache. They're made in America. You can wash and dry them. They're hypoallergenic, plus have a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. And it's great to know you're supporting a company that helped thousands of hurricane victims. So get your buy 1, get 1 free MyPillows as gifts or for yourself by calling 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. All right, we got a lot of calls, so we'll stay on this topic, but of Roy Moore, but Charlie Rose too, because Amy, you're certainly old enough to remember this.
What?
Obviously, remember
Old
that?
enough to remember what?
This, you remember this?
There's a fragrance that's here today, and they call it Charlie. A different fragrance that thinks your way, yeah, they call it Charlie. Kinda young, kinda now. Charlie, kinda free, kinda wow. Charlie, kinda fragrance that's gonna stay, and it's here now. Charlie.
Charlie by Revlon,
So that's
a most
when-
original fragrance.
That's when you were walking the catwalk back in the early 70s.
Yeah, no, I was, a young person wearing gauchos in Mount Prospect in the 70s. But I remember that song because it was catchy. It's a memorable tune.
Back in the 70s, 40-year-old women wore gauchos? What?
I was that was my childhood in the 70s.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So now you do the chorus. We got an alert creative listener. We got many of them.
Okay.
And he's come up. I don't know if I should disclose his name because he didn't give me authorization, so I'm not going to. But I'll give him credit. I'm not trying to appropriate his work. God forbid. All right. So I'll sing the setup, and then you do the Charlie part. All right.
I just got text this. Yes.
We'll do a little.
Okay, I'm ready.
We'll do a little Ashford and Simpson.
Yes.
We're solid as a rock. All right. There's a guy with a unique style.
And they call him Charlie.
A birthday suit with a creepy smile.
Call him Charlie.
Too sleazy for a wife.
Charlie.
Scarring women for life.
Charlie.
Liberal in a special way.
They call him Charlie.
All right. Yeah. That was, give ourselves a round of applause for our courage.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for our courage. And you should thank me for coming to work.
Yeah. No, it was nice. There was nice tonality there. You definitely carried it.
I still have my head voice.
You definitely.
La, 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 la.
You definitely carried it. And now again, we didn't have time to practice that.
No, that was just off
That was
the top.
sui generis right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, a
Cut us some slack.
little bit of bandwidth for you music critics out there.
Yeah, but CBS and PBS has suspended Charlie Rose for this bombshell Washington Post report where 8 women came forward. And since this report hit the presses, 20 more women, according to CNN, have called the newspaper telling similar stories.
Well, sure.
So this is day 1 of the Charlie Rose under fire for bad behavior.
Well, this is how. Well, I mean, again, he is known in the industry apparently as the Crusty Paw. So
I thought maybe he'd like to hear from the Krusty Clown with some damage control options.
And I contend that those tourists were decapitated before they entered the Krusty Land House of Knives. Next question.
What about that little boy who got appendicitis from eating your cereal?
To prove that this metallo is harmless, I will personally eat one. See, there's nothing. God! Oh! Yeah! Oh, boy! This thing is shredding my insides!
Krusty. That wasn't the middle one. That was a regular Krustio.
It's poison.
All right, so just a little, trying to provide some options for Charlie Rose with the damage control, because I don't think his statement yesterday about how he thought this was mutual attraction.
Yeah, no, he did.
And how not wearing pants could be construed as insensitive. Not compelling.
So a woman that worked on his PBS show, she would go to his house. He had various homes in New York, and she would go, for show prep, and he would walk out naked. I mean, what is wrong with him?
That's how we start every show here.
Oh, that's right. You guys all just walk around naked.
No,
that's how it begins.
Well, we're gonna have to reconsider the corporate policy here.
And then another
who had any idea?
He was driving in a car with, and she had a skirt on, of course, and he put his hand on her thigh and pushed her toward him. It's just the stories go on and on. But again, he thought it was because that they wanted a piece of the chuck. You want to get in this, huh? You want to get on this, baby.
For the rest of the morning, I want everybody. So this is theater of the mind. That's what radio is.
Yes,
I want everybody to picture
No.
Charlie Rose entering a production meeting naked.
No, see, that's the thing. Once you visualize that, you can't unvisualize it.
And whether or not you would consider that rising to the level, pun intended, of insensitive. As Charlie conceded, which was very generous of him. Okay, so that's Charlie Rose. So the hits keep coming in the D.C. press corps.
John Conyers, longest-running congressman.
He's been there since 1792.
Exactly. A 27-year-old employee. She claims she was fired back in 2014 because she did not accept his sexual advances. Apparently, Conyers is a little handsy as well and would put his hands on women's thighs and on their backs and try to give them rubs in exchange for getting rubbed down himself.
And then we've got
they paid her out $27,000.
And then we've got the cannibalization of Left by the Left with Vox outing Glen Thrush, New York Times, self-described complete hack, quote unquote. Multiple women accusing him of inappropriate sexual conduct, and him sort of not apologizing and then conceding. He's had a drinking problem, and it's led him to do some embarrassing things for which he's very sorry, and he's been suspended by the New York
And all
Times.
these women are 20-something, young reporters, who are upset because then he'd go back the next day in his editorial board meetings and say, oh, did you see how so-and-so was hitting on me and she wanted me? So he made it even worse. But he would touch them again. If they were wearing skirts, he'd get them in, one of the booths and push them against the wall and Thrush would thrust himself and start kissing them unwantedly.
You know what part of this is, though, too? Is like
what's wrong with people?
The Kevin Spacey and the pedophilia stuff is a separate category. But for these kind of cretins like Charlie Rose, allegedly, and so many others that we've talked about in media and Hollywood and politics over the last several weeks, I have a sense that growing up, they were dorks. They were tools. They were they were uninteresting, and thus they were not attractive to women in their formative years, and probably until they started making real money by producing movies or being on television or being a reporter for a brand name outlet and having some cachet and some power. And then all of a sudden, because they have status, there's a certain because so many of them are left, there's a certain entitlement. And this goes back to the Thomas Frank formulation, which is the idea that their liberalism is payment for them to behave like the barbarians they've behaved as.
Yeah.
I think there's something
Charlie
to that.
I mean, he must have thought, because the other woman described that he would grab her breasts while they were driving in a car, and he would give women shoulder rubs without their permission, and that's what they deemed as the crusty paw. But his longtime producer, a woman, Yvette Vega.
Isn't the
she knew about
Isn't
this.
the Krusty Paw the mascot of the White Sox? Oh no, that's
The
Southpaw. That's Southpaw.
But Yvette Vega, who's his longtime producer on his PBS show, she knew about all this, and she told the women, "Oh, that's just Charlie." And now this morning, she's regretful, and she said she failed to help these women. Charlie.
All right.
Kind of new, kind of wild. There's Charlie, kind of nude, kind of now. Charlie.
You should
Sorry.
really. Revlon should think about reprising that, and you get a little side
Little
hustle work.
something.
Little side hustle work.
I need a side hustle.
All right. I mean, Elizabeth Taylor was doing perfume commercials well into her 70s. You can.
Diamonds.
All right. So getting back to Roy Moore, because I know people want to talk about that with the Lee Korfman interview on Today's Show yesterday.
And this is one moment where she described kind of, in full detail of how he seduced her.
He basically laid out some blankets on the floor of his living room and proceeded to seduce me. But I was a 14-year-old child trying to play in an adult's world, and he was 32 years old.
Mm-hmm. Now, there are, just to be complete in our reporting here, there are statements that the Roy Moore campaign has put out that include, well, this is specific to the Old Hickory House, so this is the other woman, Beverly Nelson, that tend to recount things differently in terms of the allegations that she made against Roy Moore in terms of what happened at the Old Hickory House, this restaurant where she was a waitress and Moore allegedly was a frequent patron. One former waitress says that Old Hickory House required employees to be 16 years old. Nelson claims she was 15 when she started. I started caddying when I was 11. Technically, you couldn't caddy until you were 14. So what?
Right.
Come on. According to two former employees, the dumpsters were on the side of the building. Nelson claimed they were in the back.
Oh, come on.
I know. They're reaching. Old Hickory House sat right off the 4-lane highway and had a wraparound porch with lights around it. Nelson claimed that the surroundings were dark and isolated. By the way, I thought Old Hickory House didn't exist. Wasn't that one of their first statements?
Yeah.
They didn't know the restaurant existed.
They didn't know the restaurant existed, and there's 4 different Hickory Houses.
Rhonda, this is all from the Moore campaign. Rhonda Ledbetter, who worked at Old Hickory House for almost 3 years, states that the earliest it closed was at 11 p.m., but she believes it was open until midnight. She is certain it did not close at 10 because Goodyear was next door and employees came to eat when their shift ended at 10 p.m. Nelson claims her story after the restaurant closed at 10 p.m.
A little bit of a stretch.
I think you're going to need more. Holly and Hudson, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Well, good morning. I have a public service announcement today for your listeners. Anyone over the age of 75, mostly this applies to men. No women want to see you naked. No women think it's sexy when you prance into the room without your pants on. And if they tell you they think that you're sexy without your clothes on, they are lying.
All right, Holly, let me ask you this. What about Tom Cruise in Risky Business when he did that iconic dance?
He wasn't 75.
Yeah. He had had his shirt on. He just had the tighty whities on, right, Holly?
The point is, at 75 years old, nobody thinks you're sexy.
Yeah.
Well, he did this 10 years ago, but still
that's a
he
real
was in his
buzzkill, Holly. Thanks a lot.
Well, he was in his 60s when he did it, but still, nobody wants to see a 60-year-old man prance around naked.
Who? Oh, Charlie Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, nobody. I don't want to see Roy Moore in his tighty whities at 32 either. Just for the record. Goodness gracious.
No one even has to ask him boxers or briefs because we know now.
Yeah. I mean, I want to see guys wearing layers of clothing.
Yeah.
All right?
He needs to see this.
We're gonna start having to bring back chastity belts on the
what
dudes.
made men think that they could do this to women? Well, clearly we have a bit of a problem here.
Well, this is like
nobody. Not all men do this, of course. Mike Scott
Nobody does this. I mean, obviously, some people do this, but this is the thing. We talked about this with David Arsani and others too. It's like this is so creepy to report. I feel uncomfortable talking about it, reporting it. Who does this? Who, frankly, exposes themselves? Pops out of a room naked or in some revealing robe. Pleasures themselves in front of somebody else. This is just
and relieves himself in potted plants.
They're barbarians. They're barbarians. They are just squirming bags of appetites. They are one-dimensional humanoids. This is not
No
normal.
boundaries.
This is not like, hey, whatever you're into. No.
No.
It's just crazy. David in Chicago.
Hi. I have two quick comments. Since people are speculating about whether or not the woman lied about her age and all of that, I'd like to remind people of the story, which is that he met her because he was adjudicating a child custody case involving her mother.
Yeah, he wasn't adjudicating it, but you're right. He was at the courthouse, and that was a child custody case. That's a good point.
So I have a sense that he knew her age. But
Yeah.
The other comment is just people can hear things differently. The way I heard the woman when she said about her courageous actions, I thought she was sort of quoting the people that thanked her for her courageous actions, not that she was, bragging.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for the call, David. Chris in Morton Grove.
Yeah, hi. I'd like to get guys to think back to the 80s and 90s.
Sure.
When all the half of the daycare centers were being accused of abusing children. It's so easy to get multiple accusers. So easy.
Yes, but Chris, I know those cases you're talking about, like Dorothy Rabinowitz wrote Pulitzer-worthy op-eds about the false accusers. But what you had there was different because you had children making the accusations and that they were coached and so on and so forth. This wasn't adults. These are adults making accusations.
Right.
Now they're recalling their
was
childhood, but
excuse me.
Go ahead.
All the satanic ritual abuse. All the satanic ritual abuse accusations made by adults saying they were abused as children.
So Chris, here's the
Where are the satanic cults now?
Chris, hold on a second. I concede false allegations. We've mentioned this before. The Virginia rape case, Tawana Brawley, what's his name, who accused Cardinal Bernardine of molesting him. There have clearly been false accusations. The question is this: do you believe the allegations against Roy Moore are false?
Yeah, I believe they're false.
All of them.
Yes, all of them.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks,
so
Chris.
people are going to vote with their partisan heart over their moral conscience.
Some people are.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Start your Black Friday early. Make the smart choice and switch to Sprint and get a new Samsung Galaxy S8, S8 Plus, Note 8, or S8 Active with 50% off your lease. That's right, the hottest Samsung devices 50% off. Plus, with Galaxy Forever, you can upgrade to the latest Galaxy anytime after 12 lease payments. And when you switch to Sprint, you get the best price for unlimited. $25 per month per line for a family of 4, plus get a 5th line free. That's 50% off Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. You also get 10 gigabytes of mobile hotspot in HD, so you can stream your favorite holiday movies, music, and games. So stop by your local Sprint store, sprint.com/holiday deals, or call 1-800-SPRINT1 to learn more.
Requires 18-month lease and new line savings via monthly credit applied within 2 bills. Early termination results in remaining balance due after 1/31/19. Pay $38 a line per month with autopay. Excludes taxes, surcharges, and roaming. Compared to Verizon Beyond Unlimited rates, AT&T Unlimited Plus plan, and T-Mobile One Plus plan for 5 lines. Carrier features differ. Coverage and offer not everywhere. Subject to credit and $30 activation fee. Speed maximums, use rules, and restrictions apply.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I have been on these supplements from Balance of Nature for a couple of years now. And prior to that, I used other supplements. They did nothing for me. This has been absolutely wonderful. I have never felt so good, and I have felt so much better health-wise. My cholesterol's down. All my numbers are down, and it's been great. So I highly recommend Balance of Nature.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago. That's promo code Chicago. Balance of Nature. Order today.
Check out the Smith & Wesson event this weekend at Shoot Point Blank. All the latest Smith & Wesson firearms will be featured and on sale this Friday through Sunday and only at Point Blank. Don't miss the $50 in savings on the popular M&P Shield or 15 Sport 2. Shoot Point Blank offers a state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, an extensive inventory of ammo and firearms, and a supportive, knowledgeable team. The Smith & Wesson event is this weekend at Shoot Point Blank. Visit shootpointblank.com for details. Some restrictions may apply. Get to Shoot Point Blank this Black Friday and take advantage of unbelievable doorbuster specials. Save $70 on a Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0. 9mm ammo starting at $9.99 a box. Get these and other great doorbusters this Friday at Point Blank. Shoot Point Blank. Whether you're an expert or new to shooting, their associates focus on your needs. Experience the Point Blank difference this Black Friday. Visit shootpointblank.com for details.
The best part about Dell's Black Friday sale is not that they have the lowest prices of the year. It's not just that they have the hottest electronics and tech, like the latest laptops with Intel Core processors and the latest gaming PCs, or that there's free shipping and extended returns on everything, or that it lasts until November 26th. No. The best part is you can shop these amazing doorbusters while wearing your jam jams. All you gotta do is go to Dell.com/Black Friday or call 800-BUY-DELL. Because why would you put on clothes if you can shop in your comfy pants?
You're up before dark 30. You don't ask for medals or even a pat on the back. But if all your hard work is indeed its own reward, then consider the new Ram Limited Tungsten Edition as a bonus. Natura Plus leather seating, premium projector headlamps, suede headliner, packaged in the highly capable, hard-working truck you'd expect from Ram. Keep doing what you do, but who says you can't do it in a nicer truck? The new Ram Limited Tungsten, the most luxurious Ram truck ever. Ram is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-700-1368. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-700-1368. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-700-1368. 1-800-700-1368.
AM 560. The Answer.
Yeah, all right. Little AC/DC. We were remiss yesterday, especially you, Amy, because you like the rock and roll.
I do.
Mrs. Cleaver. And, of course, Malcolm Young, one of the founding members of AC/DC, passed away over the weekend. Angus still alive.
That's all that matters, as long as Angus is still alive.
And speaking of rockers, I mean, how do you not? I see this name on the call screen or call board, whatever you call it. I don't know. I've only been in radio for a short time. Lita, and you think Lita Ford. That rockin' chick. Remember that duet she did with Ozzy Osbourne, Close Your Eyes? That was awesome.
I don't know if it's that Lita, but there is a Lita on line 3.
Lita from New Palestine, Indiana, please sing a couple of bars from Close Your Eyes before your comment.
Good morning. I'm not Lita Ford.
Oh, sorry.
I'm calling about the George Roy Moore issue. The voters in Alabama have a clear choice. You can vote for somebody who possibly may have molested somebody 38 years ago, a few women 38 years ago, and has had nothing since. Or you can vote for the Democrat who is pro-choice, who would be for the killing of unborn babies and the selling of their body parts per Planned Parenthood on the open market to the highest bidder. What's your choice?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, it's clear. I'm not happy with what Roy Moore possibly may have done. I'm not happy with it. But I certainly don't want the other choice, which is, like our governor, taxpayer funding of the killing of unborn babies. So what is their choice?
Yeah, I understand the position, Lita. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, that's the position a lot of people are taking, and I understand it. It's, it's essentially a version of the lesser of two evils argument.
Mm-hmm. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
I do want to note for the record that Steve on 88 won the Words with Proft crossword puzzle contest.
And what does he win, Dan?
That sound effect. That was his prize.
Are we going to send him a T-shirt?
We'll send him an autographed picture of me in my tidy whities. So you look forward to that in the mail. We'll get that to you.
I'm sure he can't wait. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk to Todd Strowger. Yeah, Todd Strowger. He's back in the news because he's a candidate for Cook County Board President.
And Lavar Ball's head-spinning 23-minute interview, what would have made him thank President Trump. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
42 and clouds. CBS This Morning will be without one of its veteran hosts after the network suspended Charlie Rose over sexual misconduct allegations leveled against the veteran newsman. San Francisco federal judge says President Trump's executive order cutting funding to sanctuary cities is unconstitutional on its face. The judge permanently blocking that order. U.S. labeling North Korea a state sponsor of terrorism. Columnist Gordon Chang telling MSNBC this morning the move is significant in many cases.
This designation brings a whole raft of sanctions. They're minor, but North Korea is almost at a tipping point. There's a lot of anecdotal evidence that the regime is being starved of funds.
The president made the announcement at the beginning of a cabinet meeting at the White House yesterday. Meantime, the president also is making another strong push for a massive border wall.
As you heard, we lost a Border Patrol officer just yesterday, and another one was brutally beaten and badly hurt.
At a White House photo op yesterday, the president saying a lot of bad stuff is happening on the southern border and vowed to get to the bottom of the matter. A man accused of killing a police officer near Pittsburgh is in custody. Authorities in New Kensington say they've captured Rahimael Holt after several days of searching. At least 50 are dead after a suicide bomber attacks a mosque in Nigeria today in the northeast part of that African nation. Chicago aldermen are expected to approve Mayor Emanuel's 2018 proposed budget today. The rubber stamp for the spending plan raises taxes for a sixth time in 7 years. Cook County Board is also voting today on its budget and $200 million in cuts created by the repeal of the soda tax. Chicago firefighter is recovering following a blaze on the west side. It broke out early this morning in the 5200 block of West Quincy. That firefighter is hospitalized in good condition. Authorities searching for a person who shot and killed a man in Palos Heights. The victim was shot inside a home yesterday. The man died at a nearby hospital. So what makes a good presidential turkey? Showmanship, a readiness to strut your stuff and gobble on command, yet enough restraint to stay on the table for the big photo op today. So says a Minnesota turkey farmer and his 4-H kids who raised that turkey to go to the White House for the official pardon from President Trump today. It's the 70th anniversary of the National Thanksgiving Turkey Federation, and the chairman of the National Turkey Federation earns that perk. It's Carl Wittenberg from the Minnesota town of Alexandria, who used the 4-H students to teach the turkeys to stay on the table and behave. To do that, the birds are bribed with grubs. By the way, here's some turkey info that you need to know. Gobbling is a male behavior. Females only cluck. It's hard to get turkeys to strut on command at the White House, asked President Reagan or President Bush. But they say gobbling happens about 9 times out of 10 and can be trained. And if you're counting, Americans will eat 46 million turkeys for Thanksgiving. Bulls make the second stop on their 4-game road trip tonight versus the Lakers at Staples. Bears cut kicker Connor Barth and signed former Chiefs kicker Cairo Santos. Last night, Monday Night Football, Falcons over the Seahawks, 34-31. The news, a service of Walgreens with a little help from Walgreens. Diabetes won't slow you down with caring pharmacists, medications you rely on, testing supplies from major brands. Where is it convenient? Where do I matter? At Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy. 6:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager wants Roy Moore to prevail.
If Roy Moore steps down, Republicans angry about it, who stay home, what lesson do you think you'll be sending? That you're ticked off at the Washington Post? Woo! That you're ticked off at the Republican Party? Woo! That is really good for the country, isn't it? You're ticked off, so let a Democrat win. I don't get it.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Ready for a bad cold and flu season? A cold is a cold, but flu brings fever. Be prepared with the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer backed by medical professionals everywhere.
Millwright work is often technical and requires a high degree of precision. The pros at Vans Industrial are skilled mechanics that can perform any type of millwright work, including installation and maintenance of your factory equipment and machinery. For your machine repair needs, look no further than Vans Industrial.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Vans Industrial is an industrial millwright contractor that can install new mechanical systems or repair existing systems. Our services include repair of bearings, shafts, shiv alignments, as well as installation of conveyors and bucket elevators. Our team of trained mechanics will respond to your emergency calls 24/7, keeping your systems operational. We're here to help you.
Call 219-931-4881 today for a free inspection of your facility. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS industrial.com. Quality craftsmanship since 1964.
6:36. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. 8094 westbound at Klein Avenue. A crash blocks the right lane. There's a big backup all the way to I-65. On the northbound Tri-State Tollway, it's heavy 95th to the 83rd Street Toll, and farther north, the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Eden's 23 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose. Outbound 19. Make that outbound 21. A little tight now from Montrose to Peterson. On the Kennedy, 36 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 16 from Montrose, 22 in the Express. Locals are quicker. Outbound 23 minutes downtown to the airport. The Eisenhower, 40 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 31. Stevenson heavy, First Avenue to Ashland, 58 minutes, 355 to the drive. Outbound 36 minutes. Ryan is 24 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, delays start at 130th. It's 37 minutes, 8094 to the merge. Traffic, service of Walgreens with a little help from Walgreens. Diabetes won't slow you down. With caring pharmacists, medications you rely on, and testing supplies from all the major brands. Where is it convenient? Where do I matter? At Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Intervals of clouds and sun, breezy and cooler. We've already hit our high temp just after midnight. It was about 45. Temperatures are dropping rapidly right now, and we'll hit a low of 23 overnight. Winds from the southwest at 15, 42 degrees. The news is a service of Dell. What if you could stay in your jams and shop for the hottest tech like the latest laptops with Intel Core processors? Thankfully, it's the Dell Black Friday sale. Call 800-BUY-DELL today and get free shipping on everything, all while rocking your comfy pants. That's 800-BUY-DELL. Your next news update is at 7. Continuous news coverage at 560theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Goldstone Financial, helping you become financially independent at goldstonefinancialgroup.com.
How can I miss you when you won't go away?
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And we interviewed last week Bob Fioretti, Chicago alderman, who has announced his candidacy against Queen Sugar for Cook County Board president. And then yesterday,
the big bombshell.
lo and behold, I ran Tony Pareca's campaign against Todd Strowger for Cook County Board president in 2006.
You did?
I was there. I was there the night for that. There was all kinds of curious reporting of vote tallies from certain wards in the city and the bowels of Cook County.
I was
fighting
there
it
too.
out. Yeah,
we took it to the streets. Remember, we went to the
That's
county
correct. Yeah.
building, and then people got a little handsy, and I got a bruise on my arm.
We walked from the Hotel
Yep.
Intercontinental, where we're having the election night party, to the Cook County building. That's right. And
That was fun.
I got to tell you, so And that was the closest a Republican has come for Cook County Board president since I think Ogilvie won it in '66, '66. And so my interactions, I've had interactions with Todd Strowger over the years, and you know what? He's a really likable guy. I actually really like him. I think he's a good family man. We just disagree on policy choices and party affiliation. So, I wish him well, and we're going to find out why he's decided to re-enter the arena as he joins us now. Todd Strowger, thanks so much for being with us. Appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure, Dan and Amy. And, yeah, what a good question. Why would you go back out to be mauled by the lions, huh?
Yes, exactly. So why don't you answer the question you've posed to yourself?
Okay. Well, to be honest with you, Dan, I'm sure you remember because, like you said, you were right involved in that whole election. The county board, and I don't mind saying the county board has made some bad decisions, and I mean the commissioners this time. It has nothing to do with any of the presidents. The first one was when they gave all the employees raises in 2006 as their budget director told them that there was no money for it. And the second one was when they said, all right, we're going to start repealing the 1-cent sales tax and really just kind of dismantled how the government was running at the time. So, I've seen both those things. When I was in office, I wanted to just tout myself by saying that I looked very hard at what was going on. We got outside help, and we were able to balance the budget. We didn't make any great, enormous things that would be burdensome to our constituents. And I must have done something right, Dan, because I got everybody mad at me.
Well,
The first time around, we cut $500 million out of the budget without raising the tax. All the unions got mad at me. And the next year when we said, we're going to have revenue or we won't even be able to run the government, then the rest of the world got mad at me. So it still worked out. It worked out in the sense that things kept going. I was starting to make changes in the government. And then, I was out.
So you ran, when you were Cook County Board president for 4 years, you ran a budget in the black.
Yes, I did.
Okay. So what made you, because I know that you were going to run for a water reclamation district, and some of the people that you were asking to sign your petition, they wanted more from you. Can you explain?
Yes. So I was, I'm only 54, so I'm still young. And with a young family. And, I have some skills, and one thing that I do enjoy is I do enjoy doing things that will help people. I enjoy government, which I think government
Wait a second. I thought you said you enjoy doing things that will help people, and then you said you enjoy government. Those two things are mutually exclusive, aren't they?
Well, Dan, if we didn't have government, what we have? We have chaos.
Yeah. What do we got now?
What do we?
We have. This is called organized chaos.
I see. I see the difference. Okay.
Yes. So I was out and I was asking people, and the people who were helping me were asking people to sign, and they were very happy to sign. But they always ask the same question, and people have been asking me that for probably the last 4 years. Why aren't you running for a county board president? And I heard that so much, I was like, there must be something to this. I called some people, and they say, look, I think it's a good idea. Just have to make your case that you are a good manager of the county, and we'll see how things work.
Well, as Cook County Board president, you were really pilloried by, as you said, all sides, including the editorial boards, which, by the way, lean pretty sympathetic towards the Democrats in this city and state. And
not my favorite one, the Tribune, which had a clock on.
Well, right, but yeah, that's true. But they're still pretty liberal, and they've been very, very charitable to Tony Preckwinkle and Tiny Dancer, at least in the first several years of their respective terms. Maybe that's changed a little bit of late. But how do you put it together to reintroduce yourself, per what people remember from your tenure with the sales tax increase and also, frankly, being taken out by your own party.
Yes, well, what a race is about, especially when there's an incumbent, is you compare yourself to the person who is in charge at the moment. And to be honest with you, Tony Preckwinkle has been dishonest to us ever since she got there. When she ran against me on that sales tax, there was a lot of bluster about how the sales tax was no good and we didn't need it. And she got in there. Well, first the county board took a quarter off. Then she took a quarter off with the cry that she was going to take the rest of it. And a year in, they're like, wait a minute, that sales tax made all the sense in the world. She brought it back.
Mm-hmm.
This last few months, as you've seen this debacle with the soda tax, she came out and told us that we're going to stop people from being fat and have diabetes.
Yeah.
And then 3 months later, she had to say, okay, I was just kidding. It's really about revenue. I need the money. I think you need a leader who's going to be honest with you. Maybe I was too honest because I tried to tell people that this is about the system that we already have in place, which is health care and public safety. That's really the only two things the county does, because that's more than 90% of the budget. And that is the essentials. If we don't keep that going, we're all in trouble.
One of the other things I think is refreshing to hear from politicians, or at least would theoretically be refreshing to hear from politicians because you never hear it, is a little reflection on their time in office and things that they would have done differently, mistakes that they made that they've learned from. And it's always, sort of like, I kind of abstract and general and cliched. I mean, is there anything I would suggest that there were some, huge strategic errors that you made as Cook County Board President. And I wonder if you reflect back on your time and your tenure there and you say, boy, if I had to do it over again, I'd do something major differently.
Oh, shoot. Yes, you can bet that. I probably said that once a month in the last 7 years. And part of it would be being out in the public more. When I took that job, I went in there and I got in that office and I was like, come on, let's make this county work the way it needs to be. And we just kind of hunkered down in the office. And my thought was, I remember telling my chief of staff, we're going to make this run like a perfect machine.
Yeah, but what about policy decisions, not marketing?
People will see that, and they will say, all right, they're doing a good job. But it's more than that. You not only have to run a good ship, you have to be able to get out and tell people how it's running, why it's running, and what it gives them.
You also have to watch, who you surround yourself with. I mean, your former top aide, Carla Oglesby, ended up going to prison for theft and money laundering.
And Gene Mullins.
So,
yes,
got to properly vet people.
Sometimes you hire people. Well, you always hire them for the reason that you think they're capable of doing the job, and that they will do the best for you and themselves. They'll see you as someone they don't want to fail. But sometimes that doesn't work, and this is not the first government. Now, to be honest with you, I've seen all the governments, and as president, I know when things went bad in other places in the county, and it happens. Now I won't say often, but there's people who feel like they can get over the system, which I never understood. There's always a paper trail.
Is your candidacy? I mean, people are going to say this, thinking about the politics of this. Is your candidacy really a way to try and aid Bob Fioretti by splitting the black vote with Tony Preckwinkle?
No. I know Bob. I like Bob, but Bob's he's on his own. I can't run for a single office with somebody else. So Bob's going to have to explain himself, and I will explain my positions, and people will choose, and that's all I can ask for.
And what's
I've done a good job.
What's the one big idea that's going to be the centerpiece of a Todd Strowger campaign for Cook County Board President? The one, elections are prospective. It's you can try and recast your time as Cook County Board President, but they're about the future and what you're going to do, prospective. So what's the one big idea that's going to be central to your campaign?
Well, it's really early. I mean, this has only been a week for me. I don't have a big idea that's going to to make everything right. And to be honest with you, Dan, generally when people have those big ideas that are supposed to make the whole world right, they tend not to work. When I was in the county, they kept on telling me, do something big, like the mayor that'll get a lot of attention, sell something, tell off one of the buildings or something like that.
Or reform pensions, or how about something like that?
Well, I didn't have that ability. But
Yes.
you made a good point there. I think one of the things that we need to do as leaders is we have to be more vocal. We have to stand up and say, look, part of our problem is the state's not doing anything, and some of the things that they can do would take pressure off of all the municipalities in Illinois. I know you guys don't like taxes, but occasionally you have to raise some revenue. And if they did certain things, like one of the things I'm saying is we have to take a really look at marijuana, legalizing marijuana. And that would help everybody in the state instead of us trying to
numb the
pick and
pain.
choose, and the city has one tax here, and then the county has to do a tax, and the park district does a tax. That kills people.
What about on the spending side? 15% of county employees make more than $100,000, and those sorts of things. Anything on the spending side?
Well, when I was the president the first time and we were making those cuts, people were complaining about departments that they didn't want to see go. But to be honest with you, the county will not be able to do everything under the sun. And there's probably going to be a few things that have to go that help a small number of people, but it's not really the core of whatever department that will be cut actually does.
Okay. He is Todd Strowger. He is a candidate again in the Democrat primary for Cook County Board President. Todd, thanks for joining us. Good luck on the campaign. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Tyson Foods creating 1,500 new jobs in Tennessee. An India-based manufacturer opening a new plant in Michigan. Extra security for Macy's parade. Those stories next. Are you being intimidated by the IRS? Rapid Resolution Tax Group is a team of tax attorneys, enrolled agents, and tax professionals who've helped thousands of people with problems just like yours, and they promise not to let the IRS intimidate you. If you are an individual or business who owes at least $10,000 to the IRS, you can turn to them for help. Has your bank account been levied? Do you have years of unfiled tax returns? Let Rapid Resolution Tax Group intervene for you. They're accredited with and A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they guarantee same-day contact with the IRS. If you qualify, Rapid Resolution Tax Group can work towards settling your tax debt for less, removing penalties and fees, and stopping levies and garnishments. Call the professionals at Rapid Resolution Tax Group at 800-601-2929. That's 800-601-2929. Tyson's Food announcing it will build a new chicken production plant in Tennessee, a $300 million complex that will create 1,500 jobs. The plant will be located in the city of Humboldt. And Mahindra Group, an Indian conglomerate, opening a 400,000 square foot plant in Michigan. They'll make off-road vehicles. Mahindra is India's largest SUV maker, but doesn't sell its vehicles in this country because it needs to meet stricter safety standards. Economic reports due out today include quarterly financial results for Lowe's and existing home sales. Stricter security for the Macy's Day Parade. Any person watching the inflation of parade balloons has to be screened and must leave by 8 p.m. instead of 10 p.m. as in the past. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Hey, looking for that magical holiday gift and not sure where to go? Well, I have the perfect place. Give a gift from Roland Jewelers and create the magical holiday moment. Buying jewelry is about trust, and Roland's Jewelers in downtown Libertyville is a place you can trust. Roland's is excited to offer AM 560 listeners special savings up to $500 on designer brands like Mikimoto, John Hardy, and Roberto Coin. Save on luxury watches like Tag Heuer, Michelle Shinola. See, I pronounced it correctly. So if you're thinking about getting engaged too, Dan, when you propose to yourself, Roland's has beautiful designer engagement rings. They're
I'm not worth it.
They're a direct diamond importer, so you can benefit from those wholesale prices on perfectly cut loose diamonds. Visit Roland's Jewelers in downtown Libertyville, and as an AM 560 listener, save up to $500 this holiday season. Visit RolandsJewelers.com or call 847-918-7300. Trust Roland's for all your magical gift giving this holiday. Roland's Jewelers, a family-owned jeweler you can trust.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
We are so thrilled with this product. He was literally getting up, laying on the couch, and falling asleep. He's so alert. It's amazing, totally amazing. This is a great product. His sodium levels have been low for, I would say, maybe close to 20 years. He's normal now, and this is the first time, and I can't even thank you enough.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago. That's promo code Chicago. Order today.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. America's strength is that she's a free nation. Our weakness is we've stopped defending the foundations of our freedom. Non-behavioral characteristics like race and religion take precedence over shared beliefs as it relates to who is granted entrance to America, to the extent permission is required at all. This in spite of the fact that there is plenty of identity diversity that occurs naturally within a global population that shares a common commitment to peaceful pluralism. The temperature in K-12 is approaching Fahrenheit 451 as school districts move to ban literary masterworks like To Kill a Mockingbird because the language may offend. A recent survey of college undergrads finds 1 in 5 believes violence is acceptable to silence someone who makes a hurtful statement. Private property is seized by the state if you refuse to participate in events that violate your religious beliefs. You make too little, you make too much. You don't pay enough. You didn't build that. You need not apply. You must check your privilege. You must use these pronouns. You can't use those words. As Thomas Paine wrote, what we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. It is dearness only that gives everything its value. If we continue to acquiesce to those who would cheapen our freedoms, we will all pay dearly.
Depression. You need to make it go away. Cure or remission is here. The revolutionary treatment of TMS.
800-604-0208.
TMS therapy is drug-free and non-invasive. Here's how it works. There are areas of the brain that control mood. If you suffer from depression, research has found these areas to be underactive. TMS therapy uses safe, small magnetic fields, similar to those used in an MRI. They stimulate and activate these mood centers, causing long-term, medication-free relief. HBR centers in Chicagoland and Wisconsin offer TMS. End the frustration with life and relationships.
It's FDA cleared and it is covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare.
Dangerous drugs and other treatments just mask the depression. Cure or remission. Get a free consultation.
800-604-0208.
HPR Centers. Go to endmydepression.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, we talked about all of the dim bulbs in the NFL and all the protesting and so forth. How about an uplifting story on this holiday week? Heisman Herschel Walker, the great Herschel Walker, Heisman Trophy winner from Georgia, of course, many years, the Vikings and the Cowboys. He was on Fox and Friends. He's participating in a True American Hero truck giveaway, which will award a 2018 Chevy Silverado to a military veteran or first responder. And listen to what Herschel Walker had to say.
I've had an opportunity to go down to the military, somebody that's going to give for someone else. I've been a Christian. I've loved the Lord Jesus all my whole life. And it's more about giving to someone else. And right now, that's what we need in this country right now. We need something that's given to someone else rather than yourselves. And American hero for me is a military active serviceman or a police officer. Right. Police officers are not getting the credit they deserve. And that's a hero to me.
Yeah, Walker also said our flag is very special and Black Lives Matter. But what we should do is go to Washington after the season and protest there instead. We have young men and women fighting for the flag, and we have to respect the White House.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, an alleged kidnapping and money scam that happened to one of our own here at AM 560. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
The City Council to vote on Mayor Emanuel's 2018 budget later this morning. A firefighter hurt in a West Side blaze. We'll get an update. Cook County Board to vote on its own budget cuts later today. Investigation continues into a deadly shooting in Palos Heights. At Northern Illinois University, there is a service workers strike. Bears make a change at kicker. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
A presidential executive order travels again to the Supreme Court. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. It's a familiar story. The latest version of President Trump's travel ban partially blocked in court, being appealed all the way to the top. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, the Trump administration is asking the U.S. Supreme Court to allow its latest travel ban to take full effect, restricting travel from 8 nations with terrorism ties: Chad, Iran, Libya, North Korea, Syria, Venezuela, Somalia, and Yemen. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals last month allowed the ban to be implemented with a big exception for people who could show a bona fide relationship with persons or organizations in the U.S. That language was used in a previous order from the High Court regarding an early version of the travel ban. Dave?
Rachel, the Trump administration will also appeal a judge's ruling blocking the president's executive order to withhold some federal funding to so-called sanctuary cities for not cooperating with immigration authorities. The judge said he can't put conditions on money Congress already approved. President Trump will have a phone call today with Russia's president. Fox's Simon Owen live in our European bureau.
Dave, the phone call scheduled after President Putin met with Syria's President Bashar Assad, making a rare visit outside of his war-torn country 2 years after Russia intervened and in turn the conflict in his favor. Putin saying the military operation in Syria is wrapping up and that the most important thing now is to move on to political questions. Putin hosts a summit on Syria tomorrow with the presidents of Iran and Turkey. Dave?
Simon Charlie Rose is not on CBS this morning, and he won't be on PBS tonight. The latest public figure caught up in a sex scandal.
What do you say when someone that you deeply care about has done something that is so horrible?
Gail King on CBS a short time ago. 8 women accused Rose of unwanted sexual advances or groping. He has apologized, but Rose also says he didn't think all of the allegations are accurate. This is Fox News. Fair and balanced.
42 degrees. We have some clouds this morning and very gusty winds from the southwest at 15 miles an hour. 7:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Police are investigating this morning the death of a newborn girl in Round Lake Park. Authorities say paramedics were sent to an apartment yesterday to help a baby having trouble breathing. That child was rushed to a nearby hospital where she later died. Chicago aldermen are expected to approve Mayor Emanuel's proposed 2018 budget later today. The spending plan raises taxes for a 6th time in 7 years. Some last-minute negotiations could change the shape of the budget up for a vote today by the Cook County Board. Up to $200 million in cuts will have to be made, created by the repeal of the soda tax. Chicago police officer convicted of using excessive force in 2013 is heading to prison. Marco Proano was sentenced to 5 years behind bars. Acting U.S. Attorney Joel Levin.
This was a case where a police officer knowingly violated civil rights of the people who were in that car on that day.
Former Cook County Board President Todd Strowger is planning a political comeback, as you heard this morning, here on AM 560. We get the rest of that story from AM 560's David Stewart.
Todd Strowger, the son of the late County Board President John Strowger, is announcing he'll challenge Tony Preckwinkle next March, looking for political revenge against the woman who defeated him. He says people are fed up with Preckwinkle.
She's had her run at it, and we see that she's made some bad mistakes. This sugar tax was a bad idea. People thought that maybe we needed a sugar tax. I thought it was a bad idea back then.
Preckwinkle says she spent 7 years cleaning up the mess that Strowger left behind.
I'm proud of the record that we've achieved, and we're going to run on it.
David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
While classes are still going on as scheduled this morning, workers at Northern Illinois University are off the job. Dozens of service workers, those who handle building maintenance and food service, walked out on strike yesterday. Workers belong to 2 local unions, and they say they're not being paid enough. Bulls take on the Lakers tonight. The Bears make a switch at kicker, releasing Connor Barth and signing former Chiefs kicker Kairos Santos. Last night, Blair Walsh missed a 52-yard field goal in the closing seconds to give the Falcons a win over the Seahawks on Monday Night Football, 34-31. Blackhawks back on the ice tonight, taking on one of the NHL's best, Tampa Bay. The news, a service of Indeed.com. Are you hiring? Join the over 3 million businesses that use Indeed.com for hiring. Post a job in minutes. Manage your candidates from an easy-to-use dashboard. Post your next job on the world's #1 job site, Indeed.com. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Chicago homeowners, there's never been a better time to permanently fix your low water pressure, rusty water, and pipe leaks by repiping your home today. Repipe Specialist has been serving Chicago for many years, collectively repiping over 35,000 homes in their 25 years in business. They've built a reputation on offering the most efficient repipe process for seamless installation and customer convenience, repiping an entire home in just 1 to 2 days, patching your walls, and providing a lifetime guarantee. Repipe Specialist only uses the best repiping materials with USA Grade L copper or high-quality PEX pipes. For a limited time, take advantage of their most affordable offer. Right now, on approved credit, prices start as low as $99 per month. That's right, a quality home repipe, wall patching, a lifetime guarantee, and prices starting at just $99 per month. They'll provide a free in-home estimate explaining their process tailored for your home. So, call Repipe Specialist today for your free in-home estimate at 800-216-0130. That's 800-216-0130. 800-216-0130.
I'm Jay Farner from Quicken Loans. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.875%. APR 4.05%. But choosing the right mortgage lender means choosing more than just a rate. Does calling the company with 11 J.D. Power Awards for client service matter? Does calling the company that invented Rocket Mortgage, the industry's most innovative technology, matter? If working with America's #1 online lender matters to you, call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Equal housing lender, NMLS number 3030.
Home isn't just a place, it's a feeling. Whether you're at home, your business, or online, ADT helps keep you safe with security systems, home automation, alarms, and surveillance, so you can feel at home wherever you are. Go to ADT.com to get that feeling. ADT, home, safe home.
7:07. Let's get an update on the morning roads and the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. In Northwest Indiana, 8094 is packed solid westbound from I-65 to Klein Avenue. The crash blocking the right lane. Eden's inbound delay start at Devon. 26 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 21. Inbound Kennedy, really heavy now at 54 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 22 from Montrose, 18 on the Express. Outbound 27 to the airport. On Eisenhower, heavy 25th to Austin and Demon to Ashland. 51 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 37. Stevenson, 57 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive and 47 from the Tri-State. Outbound 36 minutes to 355. Minus 24 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 18 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop 436. Northbound Tri-State delays from the Stevenson to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Veterans Memorial tight, Butterfield to St. Charles. The other tollways are good. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Brian May.
Breezy and cooler today with clouds and sunshine, high 45. Colder tonight, clear skies, low 23. Sunshine and cold for tomorrow. We'll have a high tomorrow of 36. I'm Brian May on AM 560, The Answer.
It is 42 at O'Hare, 43 along the lakefront, and cooling in Aurora, 38 right now. Winds west at 13. Gives us a morning wind chill of 34 above. Next news at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Amy, I was surprised yesterday to learn that our technical producer, Justin Kosek, he was not an AI that was hatched in the Salem Communications Labs. He has a human family.
Yes, he does.
He's an actual three-dimensional human being. Mom and a dad, family, the whole thing. And he tells us this story yesterday about his family being scammed. And I'm not talking about like some obvious internet scam, like, the Nigerian prince. Right, yeah, exactly. Robert Mugabe is, in a can, you better let him out, or whatever those things.
No, this is a different kind of scam that I had never heard of before. And I've had friends who've been scammed in adoptions things, and
well, you've been the
and
perpetrator.
women who've been scammed by men, who claimed to have loved them. But this one's different, and it was so bad. Justin had to leave. No, Justin had to leave work yesterday because his sister had allegedly been kidnapped.
Yeah, this is really aggressive and nothing I've ever heard of before, and we appreciate Justin's mom, Tina, and his sister, Hannah, coming forward to talk about this, because it's a little embarrassing, but it's also like they were victimized and they don't want other people to be victimized. And wait till you hear this scam, because this is unbelievable, really, just how aggressive and violent, even though there was not technical violence, but the threat of violence that is involved in this scam. Tina and Hannah, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
For having us.
Thank you.
So Justin gets whistled away yesterday because he gets this frantic call that Hannah, his sister, has been kidnapped. Tell us what happened.
I had received a phone call from my work saying that at like 7:45 in the morning, saying that they got a call from the police saying they needed to check on my well-being. So then my boss is like, well, I'll give you the number that you need to call. So then as I'm about to call that number, I receive a call from that number. So I answered it, and they're like, well, what was your reason for not showing up for your jury duty? You need to come down to the King County Jail. So I'm like, okay. They're like, you need to get down here right now. So,
or else you'll be arrested, right?
Yes, yeah. So natural instincts, you go. And so I'm like, get in my car, and they're like, okay, well, we're going to call you from a number you're not going to know. It's going to be from a computer. We have to be on the phone with you because this is super serious. Just stay on the phone while you're in the car. And so I got the phone on, and I was driving towards the King County Jail, and they're like, well, you need to stop and get your bail money. So I'm like, I guess, okay.
And how much did they want?
They wanted as much as I had, because they're like, well, we can reduce the amount if you don't have as much as we need, which I guess I never asked how much they needed. So I was like, all right. And they did everything they could to get all the money that I had, like, to the last cent. They, like, worked the math. So then they told me to get all the cash out. And they're like, well, we're going to need you to go to the nearest Jewel to buy these, like, money cards. And which I was kind of like, I didn't think twice about it because I just wanted to get it over with. I didn't want to go to jail, obviously.
Right.
So I went and I bought them, and they're like, well, now you need to mail them somewhere, and then you won't have to come down to the jail. And I was like, okay, good. I don't have to go down there. And so I go.
Did they identify themselves? Did they say, we're from the Kane County State's Attorney's Office? Or
from the Kane County Sheriff's Department.
Okay.
Which is exactly who I was told to call.
Right.
And so I go and I get the envelope and I package it up, and they told me like this address in Atlanta to send it to. So I was just like, all right, if that'll get me out of this, whatever. And then they like put me on hold for about a half hour then. And they had been asking me who my emergency contact would be. And so I said my mom, because that's always my emergency contact. And they really got into like some personal stuff with me and my mom.
They knew personal details about you that, so you thought it was legitimate because of the intricate knowledge they had of you, right?
And I've heard of the jury scam before, but then they took it a step further and called you, and what did they claim?
At the same time, they had her running around doing her ruse, not being able to hang up her phone. Her number comes up on my caller ID.
Oh.
And it's two unknown gentlemen that claim they have my daughter, and they are going to do rape and kill her if I wasn't able to get money for them. And I'm like, I instantly, I was at my work, You need to walk out. You need to walk out now. You need to get to the bank. You need to get money. And I said, how much do you want? I'll let you know. They just, you have to stay on the phone. At the same time, I motioned to one of my coworkers, you know, I said, help me. And I mouthed the words. And through that, I was able to get her to come with me. I went to the bank. I was able to write down Justin's number, her dad's number, my husband's number, just so she was able to. I didn't really want her to contact the police because they said if I contacted the police,
hurt her.
that they would hurt her. That I wouldn't have her. And then they told me those personal details that they were able to rip out of her, tell us something, and I only learned in the end, connected this all together.
Well, they knew about a tattoo on her wrist. And
they knew about a tattoo on her wrist. They said they were going to cut that off and send it to me.
And so just so people understand, so they've got Hannah, you on the phone and saying you can't hang up, and Tina, they got you on the phone and saying you can't hang up. And
right, with her phone.
Meanwhile, so you think it's her phone?
So I think it's her phone. So I
right.
Is just
and
insane.
And they're giving you specific orders, directing you go buy these money cards, you go to the bank and get this money right now and stay on the phone, and they're continuing to chat you up to keep you both occupied so that you can't enlist help, right?
From anybody.
And meanwhile,
Justin, by the way.
My family, my dad and my stepdad and I were all calling them, and it's ringing not like when you have your phone off, it only does 2 rings and then it goes straight to voicemail. It's ringing all the way through. So we knew we were able to eliminate the process of elimination, that their phones were on, but we weren't able to get through to them. And as far as because we have our carrier Sprint, when you're on a phone call, you can't access 3G or whatever. So it's not updating the location because we have Find My iPhone for everyone. So we were able to kind of go in and get a general idea of where she was last.
And so then your father gets involved?
Yes, he calls me while I'm here, and I drop everything. He says the word kidnapped. My face turned ghost white. I mean, you can ask anybody here.
Right.
Yeah.
I bolted out the door, got home, and I was trying to get in touch with her to see if she needed any help, if she needed money, if she needed anything, because like her, I would give everything in my bank account for anybody.
Right, but it's your sister. Yeah.
Yeah, especially my sister.
Yeah,
So then kind of explain. So they've got you both on the phones. Justin, you're en route. The dad's en route. Then what happens?
So you want to go?
I had to go several different places because these money cards that I knew nothing about prior to yesterday, and I don't really want to know about them anymore. I went to 3 different places, and while I was at the last place, giving the last bit of information it was 2 males and a female that I was talking to, and when they would put me on hold, I learned now that they were talking to her.
Oh,
so
an elaborate scheme.
And I was at the last the Office Depot getting the cards, and all of a sudden police pull up. And I just kind of lost it because I'm like, you can't, I need her back. That was the stop. They said they were going to bring her and just basically push her out the car. So we didn't see anything.
At the Home Depot you were at?
At the Office Depot, yes.
Office Depot you were at, I'm sorry.
Yes, absolutely. So, and from then on, the Carroll Stream Police were involved, and they, excuse me, they had the police report already. They were in contact with.
Yeah. All morning they were kind of at the house.
The alleged kidnappers, did they say where they were holding her, or
they did? They didn't say. They knew, and see, we still don't know. They knew some other personal details of basically the whole outfit she was wearing.
Ugh.
We can't figure that out. Everything else we can pretty much figure out. I don't know.
That made it real. I mean, things got real quickly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so you're at the Office Depot, and then the police are involved, and then so how does this resolve itself where you kind of understand she's safe and right?
They were trying to get me to hang up the phone, and I said I don't. You're scamming. You're getting scammed, ma'am. You need to hang up the phone. Give me the phone. I'll talk to them. And they're telling me to drive away from the police, and I said no way. I can't do that without them following me.
Well, and then these guys were aggressive. I mean, they weren't nice to you.
No, they were
nice
fine.
to Dad.
No,
they were nice to Dad.
They were fine. I knew they had pinged her phone. One, they found out that the call kind of came from a landline in Kentucky because they morphed her phone number.
Oh, I see.
So it had come from the landline in Kentucky. So at that point, I really kind of knew, but at that point, I still didn't know where my daughter was.
So then how did you two finally meet? What happened?
So I'll tell this kind of from my perspective. I was at my house then with the police and kind of everybody, and my dad, drove around a little bit, seeing if she was out and about. And my dad gets back, and I'm inside my house, and I hear this loud thing coming from his car, and he's now on the phone with these scammers, and they're screaming at him. And he said they're vile, they're F-bombs every other word. They're gonna rape her, they're gonna kill her, they're gonna cut body parts off and mail them to him. They're gonna skin her. Not nice at all, demanding. And at one point they said, "Oh, you can talk to her." And he's like, "Okay." And they got quiet for a second. He's like, "Can I talk to my daughter?" And they're like, "No, you gotta go to the bank now, get us our money, or else we're gonna kill her." And so my dad went to the bank. He went to try to find a Chase Bank because that's the bank that he's going to. So he doesn't know the area that these guys live in, so he was kind of unfamiliar with it. He knew of one Chase Bank that was further than the closer one, and he just had happened to go to the further one. And at that moment, when he got to that Chase Bank, he saw her sitting in her car on the phone.
Hannah, your sister.
Yes, my sister on the phone in her car.
So how I had gotten there, after I had bought the money cards and allegedly mailed them, they told me they're like, actually, you do need to come down to the jail. We need you down here right now. So I drive all the way down there, and they're like, well, actually, can you go to this address? I had never heard of it, never heard of the town that it was in, but they're like, your mom's going to meet you there. And I was like, well, I couldn't use my GPS since our Sprint. And they're like, and they started to kind of get aggressive with me, and they're like, seriously, you can't use it. But then they started to back off. And me and Justin kind of put it together that they weren't going to get aggressive with me because if they lost me, then they lost the whole thing. Yeah. So then they're like, well, would it be easier for you to meet your mom at the post office? So I'm like, yes, that's perfect. So I go and I sit at the post office for like an hour, and they come back on the phone. They're like, well, you need to go to Jewel, because they wanted to get like the last bit of my money, like down to the last cent, like they were trying their best. And so I just drive to the Jewel, and they're like, I was like, well, does my mom know to go there? And they're like, yeah. So and then they had asked me, they're like, well, maybe just go down to the courthouse. And I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm not going down back to the courthouse where I was but at the jail. And they're like, well, can you actually just go to the Chase Bank you were at before, which the one I was at before was farther. So I said, why don't I just go to the closer one? They're like, fine, which happened to be the one that my dad was at. So
what was it like when you saw him?
I was just so surprised to see him, because I knew that like I had listed my mom. So I was just like, now he's here too. And it was just so shocking and overwhelming seeing everyone. And
I mean, when I saw her, I ran out of the car.
Yeah.
The car was still in motion that I was in, and I ran out of the car and picked her up, and it was like, it's right out of a movie.
Yeah.
And so but ultimately they did scam you out of a bunch of money, right?
Thousands of dollars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It's obviously that you're just recounting it. I know how emotional it is. It's scary. It's frightening. It's your child, and you're getting a call from somebody impersonating law enforcement. So of course you're going to defer and say, well, I better do what they say because I don't want to be in trouble.
Exactly.
So I mean, it's almost like a Hollywood script. Some of these movies.
Oh yeah,
like
and I'm sure that this isn't the
Colin
first
Farrell
time
movie.
that they've done this, but that's why I want to thank you guys for coming forward, because if the
yeah.
public doesn't know about it, they're going to do it again.
Absolutely. I want
And
to
I've heard
save
about
someone.
the jury thing, but the kidnapping, that adds a whole new dimension to how evil and sick and deprived these people.
Absolutely.
And there's a special place in hell for them.
For 2 hours, I thought they were gone. She wasn't answering her phone, and she was nowhere to be found. So I thought we were going to lose both of them in the scam. And
Right, because they're manipulating. They've
Both
got
of them,
enough.
yeah.
They've got enough
Money.
people that they're manipulating and kind of
So
keeping all the moving parts moving.
Carroll Stream Police, Elgin Police are working to try and find these people.
We do have, police reports in South Elgin and Carroll Stream.
I wish we could get the FBI involved somehow. But you set up a GoFundMe?
yes, I set up a GoFundMe. It's the holiday season. The worst time this could have happened. Any little bit you can donate. Go to GoFundMe.com/KOSEK, KOSEK, kidnapping money scam. It's on our Twitter page too, and maybe Facebook. And if you go there and donate as much as you can, anything is
Did
appreciated.
they just wipe you out of everything?
Basically what I had in my savings.
It's terrible.
So sorry.
Well, we're very sorry that this happened to you, especially because we have such an affinity for young Jason here. Justin here, as Jason, as Amy calls him, Jason.
I have done that.
We call him Justin.
Yeah.
Hannah and Tina, thank you so much for joining us, for telling this difficult story and kind of warning, our listening audience about these scam artists that are out there and just how aggressive and frankly sophisticated they are. So we appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Make the smart choice and switch to Sprint and get a new Samsung Galaxy S8, S8 Plus, Note 8, or S8 Active with 50% off your lease. That's right, the hottest Samsung devices 50% off. Plus, with Galaxy Forever, you can upgrade to the latest Galaxy anytime after 12 lease payments. And when you switch to Sprint, you get the best price for unlimited. $25 per month per line for a family of 4, plus get a 5th line free. That's 50% off Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. You also get 10 gigabytes of mobile hotspot in HD, so you can stream your favorite holiday movies, music, and games. So stop by your local Sprint store, sprint.com/holiday deals, or call 1-800-SPRINT1 to learn more.
Requires 18-month lease and new line savings via monthly credit applied within 2 bills. Early termination results in remaining balance due after 1/31/19. Pay $38 a line per month with autopay. Excludes taxes, surcharges, and roaming. Compared to Verizon Beyond Unlimited rates, AT&T Unlimited Plus plan, and T-Mobile One Plus plan for 5 lines. Carrier features differ. Coverage and offer not everywhere. Subject to credit and $30 activation fee. Speed maximums, use rules, and restrictions apply.
We're getting a lot of response back, including from a guy who's in a risk management services business, and he said the scam they're describing is very common. My firm has investigated a few of these. So
Really?
Yeah. So
I'd never heard it before. Had you?
I had not. No. Okay. Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do on this show. Long-form interviews with opinion leaders and policymakers. That's our Against the Current series this week. Colonel Oliver North, as well as separately Dinesh D'Souza. You want to check those out. 60 seconds of sanity commentaries from me, 2-minute warnings from Pat Hughes, the Illinois Opportunity Project. Podcasts of our Illinois Rising program, which airs Sundays at 3 p.m. on these airwaves, focused on state policy and politics. Follow Logic Man on the Street segments, as well as Heart of the Matter, our new series featuring professional women speaking collegially about the important issues of the day. And don't forget our sister site, defendhomeowners.com, free property tax report, so you understand fully how the highest property taxes in the nation are decimating your home value and what you can do about it. Download a petition, help us get signatures for an advisory question on the 2018 ballot that would advocate to change Illinois' property tax system to something that mirrors Indiana, reduce your property taxes, return your home equity in the process. All the property tax info, defendhomeowners.com. Everything else, upstream-ideas.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
By the time I reached 1-year period, I had lost 2 inches off my waist, and I lost 17 pounds.
I think they're part of the reason that I was able to shake 10 pounds, and I think because the support, nutritional support. My blood pressure significantly is so low now compared to what it was. I think I'm doing great with it.
You've got a good product. It's just amazing.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago. That's promo code Chicago. Order today.
Need a CPAP? Then we need you. We're CPAP.com, and we carry popular brands of CPAP equipment, including ResMed, Respironics, and more. To move inventory, we're selling some of our ResMed CPAP machines at prices lower than you would think. Call now to learn more about these affordable ResMed CPAPs. We'll even provide free shipping on your ResMed machine order, so you'll get it fast. Call 1-800-700-3181. The best part? No insurance needed. Our CPAPs are priced so low they can even cost less than your copay and deductible through insurance. CPAP.com has shipped over 1 million orders and carries a large inventory of sleep apnea equipment. With little retail overhead and no middlemen, we're the best way to get comfortable, effective sleep apnea equipment at incredibly low prices. Again, CPAP.com has a large inventory of ResMed CPAPs and is offering free shipping on these devices. Call now for these great deals and others. Call 1-800-700-3181. If lines are busy, please try again. That's 1-800-700-3181.
Have you racked up more than $10,000 in credit card debt?
Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? You should know. The credit card companies are tricking you into thinking there's no way out. Credit card companies would rather you didn't know that there are ways you can become debt-free and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. There are debt relief programs that help people like you escape overwhelming credit card debt. National Debt Relief has helped tens of thousands of people just like you reduce more than $500 million of debt. National Debt Relief has helped so many people, they're A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan. You have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Reduce a portion of your debt now. Call National Debt Relief at 800-518-4020. 800-518-4020. That's 800-518-4020.
AM 560, The Answer.
Our friend George Bliss just sent us a story, too, about another virtual kidnapping telephone scam that FBI is warning families about. Starts with an English language extortion call from Mexico to U.S. victims with absolutely no connections or ties to Mexico. And it, basically you've been kidnapped by, Mexican banditos. Yeah. So,
And if you want to help Justin's family, there is a GoFundMe page, GoFundMe.com. It's Kosek, K-O-S-E-K, kidnapping money scam. Kosek kidnapping money scam.
I'm going to make a donation in your name with your money.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to talk to Selina Zito from the Washington Examiner about a race in Erie, Pennsylvania that may portend bad electoral tidings for Democrats. That's at 7:37.
And later, why Lavar Ball just can't say thank you to President Trump. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
41 degrees, 7:31. Broadcaster Charlie Rose being suspended. Allegations of sexual harassment are mounting against him. His CBS This Morning co-host Nora O'Donnell condemned those reported allegations moments ago.
Let me be very clear. There is no excuse for this alleged behavior. It is systematic and pervasive. And I've been doing a lot of listening, and I'm going to continue to do that.
Washington Post article detailed accusations by 8 women, including 2 who claimed he walked naked in front of them. A San Francisco federal judge says President Trump's executive order cutting funding to sanctuary cities is unconstitutional on its face. The judge permanently blocking the order, which San Francisco and Santa Clara County, California, sued to overturn. 50 are dead after a suicide bomber attacked a mosque in Nigeria today. The mosque reportedly full of worshipers when the bomber attacked. FCC Chair Ajit Pai today will unveil his plan to eliminate net neutrality regulations set during the Obama administration. Those rules treat the internet somewhat like a utility and prevent service providers from blocking or slowing web traffic. Police are investigating the death of a newborn girl in Round Lake Park. Authorities say paramedics yesterday came to East Main Street to try to rescue that baby having trouble breathing. The child was later hospitalized, where she died. Chicago aldermen are expected to approve Mayor Emanuel's proposed 2018 budget later today. The rubber stamp raises taxes for the 6th time in 7 years. Cook County Board will vote later today on $200 million in budget cuts created by repeal of the soda tax. Chicago sports, Bulls make the second stop on their 4-game road trip tonight versus the Lakers at Staples Center. The Bears cut kicker Connor Barth after missing a game-tying field goal in the final seconds against the Lions, and the Blackhawks take on Tampa Bay tonight. The news, a service of Dell. What if you could stay in your jams and shop for the hottest tech like the latest laptops with Intel Core processors? Thankfully, it's the Dell Black Friday sale. Call 800-BUY-DELL today. Get free shipping on everything while rocking your comfy pants. That's 800-BUY-DELL. 7:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager delivers the news you will not hear anywhere else.
Well, the vast majority of Americans don't know the things that I report to you every day. They have no idea of what is happening to their society. They don't. 99% of the country doesn't know any of this stuff. That's quite the problem. That's why we have to make this stuff known.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Get your truly free credit score and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma today. Credit Karma. Get knowing.
Check out the Smith & Wesson event this weekend at Shoot Point Blank. All the latest Smith & Wesson firearms will be featured and on sale this Friday through Sunday and only at Point Blank. Don't miss the $50 in savings on the popular M&P Shield or 15 Sport 2. Shoot Point Blank offers a state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, an extensive inventory of ammo and firearms, and a supportive, knowledgeable team. The Smith & Wesson event is this weekend at Shoot Point Blank. Visit shootpointblank.com for details. Some restrictions may apply. Get to Shoot Point Blank this Black Friday and take advantage of unbelievable doorbuster specials. Save $70 on a Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0. 9mm ammo starting at $9.99 a box. Get these and other great doorbusters this Friday at Point Blank. Shoot Point Blank. Whether you're an expert or new to shooting, their associates focus on your needs. Experience the Point Blank difference this Black Friday. Visit shootpointblank.com for details.
Celebrate the Season of Audi sales event with a beautiful new Audi from Continental Audi of Naperville. Purchase or lease a new Audi during the event and we'll make your first payment of $600 to $1,300. How's that for spreading holiday cheer? With over 180 new vehicles in stock, we have the perfect Audi for you. Stop by for your best test drive ever and feel the sure-footed all-wheel drive performance of Audi Quattro on our exclusive Naperville test track. The 2018 Audi Q3 is an agile crossover with innovative technology, and it's available for 1.9% financing plus $1,500 of bonus cash. And don't forget, we'll make your first payment. Visit us at ContinentalAudi.com or in our Naperville showroom at Aurora and Ogden Avenues. Experience the Continental difference, where smiles are standard equipment. On select new Audi models, when you lease or finance with AFS, payments between $600 and $1,300, 1.9% for 66 months on 2018 Q3 models with approved credit. $1,625 per thousand finance with zero down for 66 months, expires 1/2/18.
7:36. Let's get an update on the morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the inbound Kennedy, we're seeing delays from Sayre to the Burn Circle. It's 54 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 22 from Montrose, 18 in the Express. Outbound 29 to the airport. Eden's, 23 minutes, Lake Cook Junction. Outbound 21. The Eisenhower. From 390 to downtown, it is an hour and 6 minutes. 48 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 35 to 390. Stevenson, 54 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 37. Ryan is 26 minutes from 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State, slow from the Stevenson to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Northbound Veterans Memorial, slow 75th to the Reagan Tollway. Westbound 8094, jammed I-65 to Clyde after a crash. Traffic, service of Advance Auto Parts. At Advance Auto Parts, their friendly, knowledgeable team members are ready to help you get the parts you need. From brakes to wiper blades to headlights, find it all right here at Advance Auto Parts. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Clouds and sun, breezy and cooler today, high of 45. Clear and cold overnight, low 23. 41 officially at O'Hare, winds from the southwest at 13. Gives us a wind chill of 34 above this morning. Your next news update is at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're not just playing Thunderstruck because we're all big Bobby Jenks fans here from the 2005 World Champion White Sox. Of course, you remember that, Amy. We're also remembering Malcolm Young, guitarist, one of the founding members of AC/DC.
Passed away over the weekend.
Yeah. All right, so speaking of Midwestern values, like the Chicago White Sox fandom, our friend Selina Zito has another good piece in the Washington Examiner. I like Selina because she tells stories nobody else in the D.C. press corps is telling. She doesn't suffer from the groupthink that afflicts so many. She tells a story about a county commissioner race in northwestern Pennsylvania, and amid all of the hoopla over the Democrats' success on election night a week ago with respect to Virginia and New Jersey, and of course Sandinista de Blasio being reelected in New York City. There's this county commissioner race in northwestern Pennsylvania, which you recall turned out to be sort of important in the presidential campaign, that may portend less than good news for Democrats amid all of the celebration of the more recent election results and what that supposedly means about Republican majorities in trouble in Congress come next year. For more on this topic and a few others, we're pleased to be joined now by Selina Zito, Washington Examiner reporter and also a columnist for the New York Post and contributor for CNN. Selina, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning. Happy 2 days before Thanksgiving.
Yes, exactly. Can't wait to go out for turkey because can't do that on a normal day. All right, Selina. So northwestern Pennsylvania, Erie County Commissioner's race. Why should we care about this?
Well, Erie County is one of the counties in the United States that in 2016 flipped from an Obama county, a solid Obama county, a county that people voted for him twice in both 2008 and 2012, and flipped over to Republican. It is one of the counties that most reporters outside of Pennsylvania missed, and it is one of the counties that helped place President Trump into the White House. And so it's one, and it's also one of the counties in my upcoming book, The Great Revolt, which you can get on Amazon, that I focus on in terms of watching the new Trump coalition. So this is a county that has always voted Democrat since the dawn of time. And it's an industrial town that has seen better times, very union sort of centric and working class, Catholic. And so to see it flip in 2016 sort of shocked everyone. So I'm paying attention to that county to see sort of the trends going forward. And so while the Democrats did win, her name is Kathy Delkamper. She was a one-term U.S. Congresswoman from that county who lost because, and she has said this herself, because of the health care vote. And she only won this seat by 300 votes. Now, I know that a win is a win is a win, but it's important to look at those numbers in that what does it tell us about the midterms and 2020? And to me, what it says is that the Democrats' power there is unraveling, and that this county is turning more Republican. It isn't there yet, but it's sort of like looking at Wisconsin right before 2009.
So right before the Walker and Walker's election and Republicans taking over the legislature there, and it's important to this is tea leaf reading on both sides, which is fine, but it's important to point out because the Democrats have a real problem, and that is at present, both in terms of what happened in the presidential as well as looking at governors and state legislatures, they are a coastal party. And if they can't win states like Pennsylvania, they're not going to be a majority party in this country.
Right. And so in 2018, next year, we have a couple big races in Pennsylvania. And that includes the governor's seat, which is Tom Wolf, held by a Democrat, and also Bob Casey, who is a Democrat who's running for to hold his U.S. Senate seat. So if he is losing Erie County, or both men are losing Erie County, then the Democrats have a hard time holding on to both of those seats because they need Erie County to offset. Well, I mean, they're always going to get the color counties of Philadelphia, but they need counties like Erie to offset the rural voters in the middle of the state who have become solidly Republican. And may I point out that they used to be solidly Democrat. One of the things people miss about Pennsylvania is that between 1996 and 2012, before the 2016 election, is that Pennsylvania became 0.4% more Republican every 4 years in every presidential election. Democrats shed votes And nobody sort of paid attention to that because Democrats kept winning. You see the same thing with Erie County. And I think that getting that granular is an important task to do because it helps you understand what's going on in the country.
Now let's move to West Virginia. You wrote a great opinion piece in the New York Post about Trump's game-changing deal for people in that state and, as part of his 12-day trip to Asia.
Yeah, so Trump signed a memorandum of understanding, which is like a contract, but it's not totally binding in that there's wiggle room for both sides. But the memorandum of understanding is nearly $84 billion petrochemical shale deal, a cracker plant, if you will, and that's a big plant. You see them all over Texas. That is part of the shale, getting the shale from the ground to the products that in particular plastic products. And this is a game changer for a state that ranks always at the bottom in terms of poverty. And what was fascinating to me is when I saw the news come out, I saw a little blurb by, I think it was Reuters. Like, oh my God, this is a big deal. So I went down to West Virginia. It's not far from Western Pennsylvania, and I started talking to people, and nobody knew about it. And so I called a couple political scientists in the area. They didn't know about it. And so I thought that was sort of fascinating that this big deal wasn't talked or pumped up more by the more New York and Washington D.C. centric news, and also by the president. I think he should have been a lot more bragging about it. To be honest with you, it's a game changer for the people that live in that area.
Yeah, no question. And boy, I mean. Trump failing to brag.
Right.
How many times has that criticism been lodged against him? Yeah.
Who saw that coming? And also, I think this little nuance is also very important. It's a promise kept to people who have absolutely no power in electing a president. Nobody worries about if you're going to carry West Virginia. Nobody. It doesn't factor in the electoral map. Nobody goes and visits it, except Trump did. And so he is giving something to someone who can give him nothing back.
Well, now
I also think that was an important distinction.
Although maybe with one caveat, he comes back to West Virginia next year to campaign for the nominee against Joe Manchin and saying, remember, I'm the guy who got this deal for you, and I want this guy in the Senate.
That is true, although Manchin and Trump are pretty close. I often wonder if you see Manchin become an independent before you see Trump campaign against him. I am very skeptical of Trump ever campaigning against Joe Manchin.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. All right. Well, that's something to watch as well. Here's something else I wanted to ask you, because as someone who has the capacity for independent thought, which is relatively unique in the D.C. press corps, everybody's focused on Hillary Clinton and doing the reckoning with Bill Clinton, and the Democrats clearly want Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton to shuffle off the stage. They're a nuisance. They're not helpful. What about all of the Obama administration officials, including the president, former president, First Lady himself? I mean, again, more stories yesterday. Jim Comey on a speaking tour about ethics. Lisa Jackson, who's the former EPA administrator, a.k.a. Richard Windsor. You want to talk about transparency. Who now works at Apple, of course she does, taking shots at the Trump administration for leadership in the world from the leading behind folks, as well as she's previously taken shots at them about transparency, again, her hiding emails and using nom de plumes to communicate. And then also a New York Times foreign correspondent saying basically that the Obama administration misled the American public on the strength of al-Qaeda in the run-up to the 2012 election. The more stories like this that continue to come out and their omnipresence, Obama and his surrogates, is that helpful to the Democrats going forward, trying to turn the page?
Well, here's the problems the Democrats face, and Republicans have been in this position before as well. But actually, I would argue in the lead up to 2016, they'd had this problem in that there's a vacuum in leadership. They don't have a bench. And that is because they've lost a whole lot of seats down ballot, the places where you usually see emerging leaders. in state houses, state senates, in Congress, and the U.S. Senate. They're trying to figure out who is their voice and or voices in the lead up to 2020. So you're going to see a jockeying of former Obama administration officials, but you're also going to see Obama and his wife also emerge as sort of leaders of the party. And this is an area where you can get in trouble with the Democrats because it can remind you of the things that caused you to lose in 2016. While President Obama remained personally popular, his policies did not. And so that is a constant reminder. And so I think we're going to see the Democrats go through, I'm going to make a prediction here. We're going to see them not only go through a lot of jockeying for power, we're also going to see a very similar lineup in 2020 that we saw with Republicans in 2017. In 2016. I expect there to be at least a dozen people, if maybe two, running for president.
Yeah, and the other thing Obama's and Clinton's do is they suck up all the oxygen in the room, so it's hard for new voices to emerge. She is Selina Zito, Washington Examiner reporter, New York Post columnist, CNN contributor. The forthcoming book, Selina, is what? Tell us again.
It's on Amazon. It's called The Great Revolt. It's in pre-sale. Guys, buy tons of copies. It's a great book. It's about the new populist coalition. And I was out in your neck of the woods for a couple weeks writing the book.
All right, great. We'll pick up The Great Revolt by Selina Zito. Selina, thanks so much for joining us. Happy Thanksgiving. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Happy Thanksgiving.
And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Start your Black Friday early. Make the smart choice and switch to Sprint and get a new Samsung Galaxy S8, S8 Plus, Note 8, or S8 Active with 50% off your lease. That's right, the hottest Samsung devices 50% off. Plus, with Galaxy Forever, you can upgrade to the latest Galaxy anytime after 12 lease payments. And when you switch to Sprint, you get the best price for unlimited. $25 per month per line for a family of 4, plus get a 5th line free. That's 50% off Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. You also get 10 gigabytes of mobile hotspot in HD, so you can stream your favorite holiday movies, music, and games. So stop by your local Sprint store, sprint.com/holiday deals, or call 1-800-SPRINT1 to learn more.
Requires 18-month lease and new line savings via monthly credit applied within 2 bills. Early termination results in remaining balance due after 1/31/19. Pay $38 a line per month with auto pay. Excludes taxes, surcharges, and roaming. Compared to Verizon Beyond Unlimited rates, AT&T Unlimited Plus plan, and T-Mobile One Plus plan for 5 lines. Carrier features differ. Coverage and offer not everywhere. Subject to credit and $30 activation fee. Speed maximums, use rules, and restrictions apply.
Are you buying or selling a business or starting a business? Maybe you have legal problems with a business partner or employees, or are just drowning in new regulations. You need the support of a law firm that concentrates in a wide range of business law and tax matters. You need the corporate team at Kelleher & Buckley. Whether you're a local mom and pop shop, middle market business, or a large corporation or franchise, they provide cost-effective legal solutions to help your businesses thrive. The lawyers of Kelleher & Buckley focus on targeted legal advice tailored to meet the specific needs of your business. You deserve competent legal representation from a law firm maintaining a high level of knowledge about the ever-changing laws governing businesses. One that also includes accountants and tax specialists on board to provide your business bottom-line solutions. Kelleher & Buckley, LLC of North Barrington and Chicago is a legal solution provider that also includes estate planning, asset protection, life insurance planning, and litigation. Keep your business on track. Call 847-382-9130 or online at kelleherbuckley.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I have a $1,200 knee brace because I have bone on bone in my left knee, and I have a torn cartilage in my right knee. And since I've been taking Balance of Nature, I don't wear my brace, and I can walk without pain. It's I had these copper things I used to put on my knees. I don't use those either. I don't use anything. I think it's just wonderful.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751. or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago. That's promo code Chicago. Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. Order today.
A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your data and computer systems. Weather-related outages from the power company are not acceptable. Your need for a source of power that's reliable 24/7, along with round-the-clock service that can dispatch technicians to your site immediately, is mission critical. Your business needs Charles Equipment Energy Systems on speed dial. These are the big boys, not residential or solar, but reliable industrial generators for emergency backup or events. When you need more than a 100-foot extension cord plugged into a small engine generator, call Charles Equipment Energy Systems. They keep the lights on with rental generators for job sites or power outages. Stay warm this winter. Plan ahead. Call now to prepare generators for winter storms and potential power outages. Call 630-834-6000. That's 630-834-6000 or charlesequipment.com. charlesequipment.com.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Chuck Spaveri, CEO of Spaveri's Custom Counters, a Chicagoland manufacturer of residential and commercial countertops. If there's a local commercial bank who knows how to get a deal done, it's Signature Bank. When my brother and I needed it, Signature Bank came through with a creative financing solution. That's because Signature Bank has experience working with companies like ours, a second-generation, family-owned and operated manufacturer. Our business matters to Signature Bank, and that comes through in every visit and every phone call with their team, right up to the bank's co-founders, Kevin, Mick, and Brian. Spaveri's is proud to bank with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Chicago homeowners, there's never been a better time to permanently fix your low water pressure, rusty water, and pipe leaks by repiping your home today. Repipe Specialist has been serving Chicago for many years, collectively repiping over 35,000 homes in their 25 years in business. They've built a reputation on offering the most efficient repipe process for seamless installation and customer convenience, repiping an entire home in just 1 to 2 days, patching your walls, and providing a lifetime guarantee. Repipe Specialist only uses the best repiping materials with USA Grade L copper or high-quality PEX pipes. For a limited time, take advantage of their most affordable offer. Right now, on approved credit, prices start as low as $99 per month. That's right, a quality home repipe, wall patching, a lifetime guarantee, and prices starting at just $99 per month. They'll provide a free in-home estimate explaining their process tailored for your home. So, call Repipe Specialist today for your free in-home estimate at 800-216-0130. That's 800-216-0130. 800-216-0130.
Do you have sleep apnea? Are you tired of dragging your big, bulky CPAP device with you whenever you leave home? Yeah, well, I was too. That's why I'm so glad I called to try the Transcend Mini CPAP for 10 nights. I can't imagine living without it now. My Transcend is smaller than a soda can and weighs less than a pound. That's less hassle to carry than my shaving kit. Plus, I was able to add a battery pack that's as tiny as a deck of cards. But hey, that's not all. Transcend is FAA compliant too, which means I can finally sleep comfortably while flying. Heck, I can sleep comfortably anywhere now. So if that all sounds good to you, call now to give Transcend a try. You'll be glad you did.
Experience the life-changing freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere thanks to Transcend, the world's very first mini CPAP. To receive your risk-free 10-night trial, call now. 1-800-400-8168. Again, that's 1-800-400-8168. 1-800-400-8168.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, so last night, Lavar Ball, who can't keep his mouth shut, who loves the attention, was on with Chris Cuomo. And he could not, it was 23 minutes of my life that I can't get back, but he was going back and forth because Chris Cuomo was trying to get him to, hey, you know what? Thank President Trump. He helped your son. And he said, no, I'm not going to do that. And this is the only reason. If he had to thank him for something, this is what it would be.
If he said he helped, that's good for his mind.
What do you mean good for his mind?
But why I even got to say that? If you help, you shouldn't have to say anything. If you help, you shouldn't have to name. If I help somebody, I don't walk around saying, you know, I help you now. Come on now, you give me some love. I helped you. Man, come on, for real. I would say thank you if he would have put him on his plane and took him home. then I would have said, thank you, Mr. Trump, for taking my boys out of China and bringing them back to the U.S. There's a lot of room on that plane. Did he help the boys get out? I don't know.
Why do you doubt
I don't know. If I was going to thank somebody, I'd probably thank President Xi.
I mean, this went at 23 minutes. It was insufferable to watch.
You can only hope to have political enemies like Lavar Ball.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, the 5 grossest thing that Charlie Rose allegedly did and more. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Mike Scott.
City Council to vote on Mayor Emanuel's budget today. Firefighter hurt in a West Side blaze. Blend of sun and clouds today. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
Can the U.S. and Russia work together in Syria? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Russia's president will be reaching out today to President Trump. This after the recent push driving ISIS out of Syrian strongholds and months after the U.S. bombed Syria following a chemical attack on a village that Russia condemned. Fox's John Decker's live at the White House.
A White House official confirms that President Trump and President Putin are expected to speak by phone sometime today, likely this morning. Putin had a surprise meeting with Syrian President Bashar al-Assad in Russia on Monday, with Putin renewing his call for a political solution to the war in Syria. A 2-year Russian air campaign has given Assad a clear upper hand in the civil war, which began more than 6 years ago. Putin has been one of Assad's chief supporters, both militarily and in helping negotiate ceasefires. The Syrian civil war has killed some 400,000 people and resulted in millions of refugees. Dave?
John, a bombing in Nigeria at a mosque during morning prayers killed at least 50 people. The attacker was a teenager. Boko Haram terrorists sometimes force abducted teens or young women to become suicide bombers. A federal judge has put a permanent block on President Trump's executive order to withhold funding from so-called sanctuary cities, ruling he can't hold back money Congress approved. The Justice Department vows to fight the decision. Attorney General Sessions has been battling cities that aren't cooperating with immigration authorities all year. He said in March,
I strongly urge our nation's states and cities and counties to consider carefully the harm they are doing to their citizens by refusing to enforce our immigration laws.
The Trump administration also taking another ruling to the Supreme Court a week after an appeals court only allowed part of his latest travel ban to take effect. Charlie Rose, not on TV today, suspended over allegations from 8 women. His CBS This Morning co-host Norah O'Donnell said,
there is no excuse for this alleged behavior. It is systematic and pervasive.
Rose apologized, saying he thought he was pursuing shared feelings. Fox News, fair and balanced.
41 degrees, mostly cloudy skies, winds from the southwest at 12. That will give us a wind chill this morning of 34 above, 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Police are investigating the death of a newborn baby girl in Round Lake Park. Authorities say paramedics were sent to an apartment on East Main yesterday to try and help a baby having trouble breathing. The child was later transported to a nearby hospital where she died. Some last-minute negotiations could change the shape of the budget, up for a vote today by the Cook County Board. AM 560's David Stewart has details.
The county budget had to be reworked after the repeal of the pop tax left a $200 million hole. Board President Tony Preckwinkle proposed dozens of layoffs, including 180 each for the courts and the sheriff. But those numbers started to shift after Chief Judge Tim Evans objected publicly to cuts in the public guardian's office.
This debacle, it is a debacle because it's unfair and it's going to hurt people who desperately need help.
His complaint was heard, but the final number of layoffs and where they'll fall is still being determined. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Chicago aldermen are expected to rubber stamp Mayor Emanuel's 2018 proposed budget later today. The spending plan includes a tax raise for the 6th time in 7 years, including a new 20-cent tax hike for Uber and Lyft rides and a $1.10 a month increase in the 911 phone tax. A firefighter recovering following a blaze on Chicago's west side. The fire broke out early this morning inside a 2-story building on West Quincy. The victim suffering burns, that firefighter hospitalized in good condition. Bulls take on the Lakers later tonight, while the Blackhawks face a tough challenge taking on leading Tampa Bay. And the Bears cut kicker Connor Barth. The news, a service of Walgreens. With a little help from Walgreens, diabetes won't slow you down. With caring pharmacists, medications you rely on, testing supplies from all the major brands. Where is it convenient and where do I matter? At Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network and a service of turnkey.pro, here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, AT&T will fight the government's case to stop its merger with Time Warner, Inc. Ryan Knutson, Wall Street Journal telecom reporter, says the government believes AT&T will control too much through this merger.
One of the main arguments that they make in this lawsuit is that they're trying to protect new online disruptive companies like Netflix and Hulu and those types of companies that are emerging. And they say that by owning Time Warner, AT&T and DirecTV will try to protect the linear cable TV bundle that is in decline right now.
Hormel's recent quarter was stronger than expected. The maker of Spam, Skippy Peanut Butter, and Jenny-O Turkey is also boosting its dividend. Home improvement chain Lowe's recent quarter also topped forecasts. It was selling rebuilding supplies following the recent hurricanes. The Dow was up 72 on Monday. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
8:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity can't believe what's coming out of Hollywood.
Since Weinstein broke, look at what we have found out. Ben Affleck, 2 accusers. Oliver Stone has 1 accuser.
You've got Bob Weinstein, the brother, has an accuser.
Terry Richardson, multiple people. Kevin Spacey, multiple people. Barry Pivot, multiple people.
Dustin Hoffman, multiple people.
How do we ever figure out the truth?
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Jay Farner from Quicken Loans. Choosing the right mortgage lender involves much more than just a rate. Quicken Loans has earned 11 J.D. Power Awards for client satisfaction. And we invented Rocket Mortgage, a simpler, hassle-free way to get a mortgage completely online. No one else has anything like it. So choose Quicken Loans, America's #1 online lender. Call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Equal housing lender, NMLS number 3030.
Home isn't just a place, it's a feeling that you're safe to enjoy the things that matter most. ADT lets you take that feeling with you. Whether you're at home, your business, or online, we help keep you safe. With security systems, home automation, alarms, and surveillance, so you can feel at home wherever you are. Go to ADT.com to get that feeling for less than $1 a day. ADT. Home. Safe home.
It is 8:06. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. The latest with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the old Elgin O'Hare, eastbound 390, traffic is stop and go Plum Grove to 290 after a crash. The Tri-State Tollway, southbound it's slow, Bradley to Everett and Lawrence to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound from the Stevenson to 31st, the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue, and the Bensonville Bridge to Lawrence. Northbound Veterans Memorial, lighter than usual, still heavy 63rd to the Reagan Tollway and Army Trail to 290. Edens is 21 minutes either way between Lake Cook and Montrose. Kennedy, 50 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 30 from Montrose, 20 in the Express, outbound 29 to the airport. The Eisenhower's 56 minutes from 390 to downtown, 43 from Manheim, outbound 39 to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 2 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 36 minutes. The Ryan is 30 minutes, 95th to Loop. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Here's meteorologist Brian May.
Clouds and sunshine today, breezy and cooler, high 45, but temperatures falling in the middle 30s. Tonight, clear and colder, low 23. Sunny and cold tomorrow, high 36. I'm Brian May on AM 560. The Answer.
41 at O'Hare, 43 along the lakefront, 39 in Aurora. Next news at 8:30. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Fly By Night with your host, comedian, and entertainer extraordinaire, Ken Severa. Saturdays at midnight on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Want to get to the crusty paw, adding to the legion of media and Hollywood types. Not all of them have such creepy nicknames. The Human Stain. You got the Human Stain. You got the Crusty Paw. We'll get to that. You got the Hat, Thrush, Glen Thrush. But we getting a lot of feedback from this interview we did last hour with the family of our technical producer, Justin Kosek, who were the victim of this really elaborate and very frightening scam. Yeah. And one is a managing partner at a risk management services loss prevention who does these sort of investigations into these scams. And he writes to us, they're not publicized. People in law enforcement and investigative firms know all about them, but the public does not. A lot of the personal details come from scrubbing the victim's social media accounts. The clothing description, this was the clothing description that the scammers had of Justin's sister. The clothing description is fairly new. They will hack a camera and direct the victim to that location, and that way they see what they're wearing. It was a great public service piece. Thanks for running it from this professional in the space. So,
good.
Yeah, it was terrible. And
And
again,
I think they're going to be on NBC5 later today.
oh, great. Well, nobody's going to see that, but at least they were on the radio station, so some
That's
people
true.
could hear the story. So
It's more in depth on the radio when it's a 20-minute interview. Yes.
no question.
And if you'd like to help out, there's a
yes.
GoFundMe. Go to GoFundMe.com. Kosek, Kosek, Kosek Kidnapping Money Scam. And that's where you can make a donation because they got thousands of dollars from this family.
Speaking of, so please be generous. You know, it's a terrible thing to happen, particularly in the holidays. So speaking of creepy scammers, Charlie Rose. Charlie Rose. Now, here's the thing, and for you creepy sexual predators out there, if you're in media and Hollywood and politics, and I'm sure corporate boardrooms too, that would probably be another shoe to drop. Or, in the Illinois General Assembly, I said politics, but let's be specific. If you're going to use the Costanza defense, you're going to want to add a laugh track. You can't sell it just in a release statement like Charlie Rose to. You got to do it like Costanza did it.
Was that wrong? Should I not have done that? I tell you, I gotta plead ignorance on this thing because if anyone had said anything to me at all when I first started here that sort of thing was frowned upon, because I've worked in a lot of offices and I tell you, people do that all the time.
Yeah. See how much more convincing that is?
That's true.
So when
laugh track.
When Charlie Rose just says basically, like if anybody found me showing up to production meetings in the Bear, if they found that insensitive, then hey, I apologize.
Is this bad? I mean, so what he did? There's 8 women who told the Washington Post just these crazy, horrific stories of what he did. One woman said that she'd been to his home in New York City many times to show prep for the PBS show, and he would walk around naked, just walking around naked in front of her. Another woman said that he claimed he called her late at night or early in the morning to talk about his sexual fantasies, that he imagined her swimming nude in a pool as he watched. Another woman said he grabbed her breasts. Another woman, listen to this, an intern, Rhea Bravo, said that he would grip my head tightly when talking to me. He held it so tightly I couldn't turn my neck in any direction, and I was forced to look at him or to let him talk directly into my ear.
He was one of these creepy massage guys, too, the unwanted massage.
Yes, he would also go up behind them. And,
allegedly.
Allegedly. Well, no, it was shared feelings. He'd go up to them and rub their backs. And one time he was on a private plane with a woman, and he had the clothes on, but she said he ended up on top of me. I couldn't get him off me. I mean, it's unbelievable. She described his behavior as animalistic. And that is what this is.
Could you imagine and I want you to imagine this. This is radio, so we don't have pictures. You have to imagine this. Imagine the bony, paper-thin skin.
Sagging skin, too.
Of the Crypt Keeper, or the Crusty Paw, as he's known in the industry, coming up behind you and starting to massage you and touch you. I want you to imagine that. Imagine. Do we have any mystical massage music? Do we have any yoga, meditation, namaste? I would just imagine. Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
He's walking around his New York home naked.
Yeah.
Swing.
He shows up to
show prep like you've never seen before.
He shows up to a production meeting and flops it on the desk. I don't think it has that kind of spring. I think that's being very generous to Charlie Rose, actually.
But the weird part is his producer, Yvette Vega, she knew about all these allegations. She even told one producer, like, hey, if he gets sketchy, take the car service to get home early. And she never said anything because, like, oh, that's just Charlie. And now this morning she feels bad and says that she should have stood up for them.
Yeah. Do you think he could be in a sequel to 50 Shades of Grey?
But they described his. Oh, sorry, but they did describe him as the Krusty Paw.
No, that's the nickname. That's not
right,
describing him. That's
no,
the name.
But that's the name that all the women in the office gave him because he would just come up behind them and start rubbing their shoulders and then their breasts.
Yeah.
What is wrong with people? I didn't grow up in that world. And if somebody did that to me, I'd bop them in the naughty bits.
I used to. I haven't heard of the Krusty Paw, and it's not since Jose Contreras pitched for the Yankees. I remember the Krusty Paw. So here's Charlie Rose's statement, and just so we're specific, give him, his chance to respond. In my 45 years of journalism, I've prided myself on being an advocate for the careers of women with whom I've worked. He hasn't actually been, but he has prided himself on it, and that's enough. Nevertheless, in the past few days, claims have been made about my behavior towards some former female colleagues. It's essential that these women know I hear them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I hear their quiet screams, their desperation. That I deeply apologize for my inappropriate behavior. I am greatly embarrassed. I behaved insensitively at times, and I accept responsibility for that. Though I do not believe that all of these allegations are accurate. I always felt that I was pursuing shared feelings, even though now I realize I was mistaken because they referred to me as the Krusty Paw. So it doesn't sound like they shared my
I always thought I was
feelings.
pursuing shared feelings. Now that's an honest answer. It's an answer, Dan.
It is an answer. It's an important answer.
Also coming under fire this morning, real quick, Michigan Representative John Conyers, longest-serving member of the House of Representatives. He settled a wrongful dismissal complaint in 2015 with a former employee who alleged she was fired because she would not succumb to his sexual advances, and they paid her out $27,000. Kept her on the payroll. She couldn't come to work and paid that money through a 3-month period, and then when that ended, they terminated her position.
Yeah.
He was apparently, trying to rub her legs and her back in public. And 4 people involved with the case verified the documents that this is authentic, that this really happened.
And the reason it wasn't worse is because Dingell has, Conyers, I'm thinking of, more representatives
from Michigan,
who have been there forever. I mean, they're interchangeable. But Conyers is the one who's still alive. And he was elected in 1812, so he only has the capacity to kind of paw at the women.
Time for him to step down, don't you think? The victim there said I was basically blackballed. There was nowhere I could go. She said in a phone interview with BuzzFeed, and they're withholding her names for fear of retribution.
All right, I want to
yes.
I want to reprise this. We got some very good lyrics to parody the great Revlon Charlie ad from the 70s when you were on the catwalk. Remember this ad?
There's a fragrance that's here today, and they call it Charlie. A different fragrance that thinks your way, yeah, they call it Charlie. Kinda young, kinda now, Charlie. Kinda free, kinda wow, Charlie. Kinda fragrance that's gonna stay, and it's here now, Charlie.
Yeah, I used to wear it like every other young girl. So here's the thing. We got some lyrics from a listener that are pretty good. And we did this now before, but I didn't have time.
Second time is going to be rough.
I didn't have time to warm up, so I was a little pitchy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just give me the cue sign when you want me to sing.
Now, do you want to do the refrain, or do you want to do...
I want the hook. I want the refrain.
Okay. Yeah, that's where you really shine.
That's what I have embedded in my brain.
Such a glory hound. This is why...
You should thank me for coming to work today, by the way. You didn't thank me enough.
Ashford and Simpson.
I need to be
the
praised.
Caucasian version.
Okay.
We're also solid as a rock. Here we go.
Oh, gosh. Why am I getting nervous?
I
don't want to do it
Come
anymore.
on.
All right, fine. Go.
There's a guy with unique style.
And they call him Charlie.
A birthday suit with a creepy smile.
And they call him Charlie.
Too sleazy for a wife.
Charlie.
screaming for life.
Charlie.
Liberal in a special way.
And they call him Charlie. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Yeah, no, I thought I was much better. There.
You guys can clap.
See how the laugh track makes it better? Keep that laugh track queued up. We need to use that more, especially me. Kurt and Park Ridge.
You know, you guys are doing this with such detail. I'm going to come forward right now and say I feel violated.
Yeah.
I mean,
Are we making you feel uncomfortable? See how much better that is?
I got to turn around.
All right, so I'm sorry. Wait, Kurt, say that again. I'm sorry.
I said I feel like I have to turn around and go home and take a shower now, and I'm on my way to work. I feel terrible.
Kurt, tell us more about you in that shower.
See, I don't know what to say. I feel weak and defenseless.
Yeah. Uh huh.
What is it like when the shower
and?
hits your chest?
Yeah.
And the fact that you're talking about him walking around slapping stuff on a table, I don't even think I can go into the lunchroom today.
Where's the loofah in that shower, Kurt? What are you doing today?
Trying to do some show prep.
Kurt, can you get me the shower gel?
Oh, you dropped the soap.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
What do you got? Come on.
The value of my degree has gone down again, a Northwestern story.
Uh-oh. A wildcat story. But first, here's your... See? It is. Today, a blend of sun and clouds. We had some sun. Now there's some clouds. It'll be breezy, cooler, a high of 45 degrees. Tonight, clear and cool, a low of 23. And for the eve of Thanksgiving, mostly sunny and cold, a high of just 35 degrees. And on Thursday, Turkey Day, gobble, gobble. Partly sunny. That was a really bad one. I can do a better one. I know I can. Thank you. A high of 41. Let's get into our alarm detection systems traffic center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. Good morning. Good morning, Dan. 8094 westbound. It's heavy I-65 to Grant Street. And then from the state line to the Bishop Ford Freeway. Eden's just 21 minutes either way between Lake Cook and Montrose. Kennedy, 50 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Quicker than the Express. Outbound 29. The Eisenhower is about an hour, 390. Burns Circle, 43 minutes from Manhunt. Outbound, 39 minutes, 390. Stevenson, an hour and 2 minutes, 355 to the drive. Outbound, 36 minutes. Ryan is 35 minutes, 95 to downtown. Lakeshore Drive, slow southbound Montrose to North Avenue. Northbound from the Stevenson to Jackson. Eastbound, 390. Heavy Plum Grove to 290. Tri-State has southbound delays from Lawrence to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis, Reagan Tollway to North Avenue, and from the Bensonville Bridge to Lawrence. The other tollways are pretty light. I'm Jim Talamonte, and the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do each morning. Long-form interviews with opinion leaders and policymakers this week. One featuring Colonel Oliver North, the other filmmaker and best-selling author Dinesh D'Souza. You want to check those out. 2-minute warnings from Pat Hughes, Illinois Opportunity Project. Follow the Logic Man on the Street interviews, the Heart of the Matter series featuring professional women speaking collegially about the important issues of the day and the impacts on families, as well as podcasts for our Illinois Rising program covering state policy and politics, which airs Sundays at 3 p.m. And don't forget our sister site, defendhomeowners.com, where you get a free property tax report to understand the damage the highest property taxes in the nation are doing to your home value here in Illinois and what you can do about it, which is download a petition and help us get an advisory question on the 2018 ballot that would advocate mirroring Illinois' property tax system after Indiana's return your home equity to you by lowering your property taxes substantially. So all the property tax info is at defendhomeowners.com and everything else at upstream-ideas.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I have been on these supplements from Balance of Nature for a couple of years now. And prior to that, I used other supplements. They did nothing for me. This has been absolutely wonderful. I have never felt so good, and I have felt so much better health-wise. My cholesterol's down. All my numbers are down, and it's been great. So I highly recommend Balance of Nature.
What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago. That's promo code Chicago. Balance of Nature. Order today.
Risk mitigation is an important consideration that smart companies pay attention to in today's complicated business climate. Some of the greatest risks occur when your company hires new employees or when you execute new business financial relationships. When your company hires, leases, or conducts financial transactions, decisions are critical. That's why veteran-owned and operated Global Verification Network is a company you should know. Startups to Fortune 100s trust Global Verification Network, and so should you. They're a background screening and investigative services company dedicated to expert, timely, and affordable background screening services for employment, tenant screening, and business due diligence. Global Verification Network is headquartered in Chicagoland, a federally recognized veteran-owned small business, and never offshores data like many competitors. To request your company's risk analysis without obligation or cost, visit globalverificationnetwork.com or call 877-695-1179. Or visit them online at globalverificationnetwork.com. Global Verification Network, the risk mitigation experts, 877-695-1179.
Are you facing foreclosure, been foreclosed upon, in a bad modification, or just stuck in a bad mortgage? Well, we may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Lou Bridges and Associates. We've been helping distressed homeowners like you for over 8 years now. We defend foreclosure actions. We bring claims against the banks and the servicers for wrongful foreclosure and other violations of mortgage servicing regulations. And we help people negotiate modifications of their existing mortgages, often including principal reductions. Give us a call. We provide free consultations. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest analysis, counsel, and advice regarding your options.
Hi, this is Rayanne from Lou Bridges and Associates. I am one of the loan modification processors here, and if you are in need of any additional information in regard to a loan modification, please contact the office.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, and I guarantee you'll never be alone.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Gina Labus, President and CEO of Mid-States Glass and Metal and a customer of Signature Bank since 2011. As we expanded our business into all aspects of the glass and metal industry, we needed a bank who could grow along with us. That's when we met Mick O'Rourke, co-founder of Signature Bank. Mick and his team took the time to understand the ebbs and flows of our business. They worked with us to find a solution that would support our growth. Mid-States Glass and Metal is proud to work with Signature Bank because they support Chicagoland women-owned businesses like mine.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, take a quick call on Charlie Rose as Nora O'Donnell and Gayle King are hand-wringing over the allegations and the suspension of Charlie Rose this morning. Kathleen in Dyer, Indiana, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, guys. I'm just curious. How long has Nora O'Donnell been on the air with this Good Time Charlie? She's got to know what was going on.
Doesn't
now
sound like
she's
it was much
all
of
of
a
a
good
sudden
time.
totally, this is so unacceptable, and she's shocked, and
Outraged.
I find that kind of hard to believe.
Thanks, Kathleen.
Apparently, these allegations happened when he was at PBS. There's no HR department at PBS. He owned the show, so these ladies had nowhere to go.
Yeah, although it seems odd that it would be limited to PBS, right? If you're a serial harasser.
Well, 20 more women have called the Washington Post since this article came out, so I'm sure we're going to hear more about this.
Yeah. All right, a related, not really a related story, but a story related to Lavar Ball and the UCLA basketball team because the NUSJWs, translation for those that don't speak in 21st century acronym, Northwestern Social Justice Warriors, flooded Tommy Nevin's pub on Thursday. Tommy Nevin's, that iconic tavern restaurant in Evanston.
You've been there, right? Or
a million
did you
times.
have no social life?
No, I went out. I went out by myself, but I went there.
But I went.
I sat in the corner, ridiculed. I can't relive it. Tommy Nevin's is closing.
Why?
I don't know. Probably can't can't afford to do business in Evanston, in Illinois, like
Liquor
everybody else.
license probably didn't put money in a bag.
Right. Here's what happened, though. These NU SJWs went full UCLA basketball. The bar manager, Brian Davenport, said Nevin's walls were rendered bare by the end of the night. Nevin's is got photographs and dartboards and mementos and sports memorabilia, all that stuff he was thinking about. He told the Daily Northwestern Sunday some of the property was returned, including a dartboard and a neon Guinness sign, but that much remained lost. I'm disappointed more than anything else, Davenport said. The guests were only Northwestern students. This is not an experience that we've had with other communities that we serve. What a commentary. What a commentary. Only Northwestern students stealing our stuff. This is not an experience we've had with other communities we serve. Of course, right, because it's communal property at Northwestern, isn't it? Yeah, value of my degrees.
There's a laugh track.
That's not funny. It's not funny.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to talk to Star Parker, president and founder of the Center for Urban Renewal and Education. She got a stern talking to when she appeared before a House subcommittee recently. We'll ask her about that at 8:38.
And later, how Dan is preparing the Thanksgiving meal. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Brine that turkey, man. Brine that turkey. 41 degrees, cloudy skies. Charlie Rose's co-anchors this morning reacting to allegations of sexual harassment against CBS this morning. You've heard Dan and Amy talk about it this morning. Gail King and Nora O'Donnell say they're still reeling about the news about their colleague. In that report in the Washington Post, 8 women accuse Rose of sexual indiscretions. And now Congressman John Conyers is being accused of using taxpayer money to settle claims of sexual harassment. The Detroit Democrat paying a woman more than $27,000 to stay quiet after she was fired from his staff. She was let go after refusing sexual advances, she says. Federal judge is permanently blocking President Trump's executive order that denies federal funds from sanctuary cities. At least 50 are dead after a suicide bomber attacked a mosque in Nigeria today. Japan's leader welcomes America's redesignation of North Korea as a state sponsor of terror. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson.
And I think it's really just the latest step in a series of, as you can see, ongoing steps to increase the pressure. I call it the peaceful pressure campaign. The president calls it the maximum pressure campaign.
Tillerson says the U.S. will continue its campaign to pressure North Korea to end its nuclear program. Chicago aldermen expected to approve Mayor Emanuel's 2018 proposed budget today. Cook County Board will vote today on $200 million in budget cuts created by the repeal of the soda tax. There could be hundreds of county employees laid off. Authorities are searching for the person who shot and killed a Palos Heights man. The victim shot inside a home in the 7300 block of West Ishnala Drive. The man died at a nearby hospital. And classes are still going on as scheduled, but some workers at Northern Illinois University are off the job, including those who handle building maintenance and food service. Chicago sports on the docket tonight, Bulls and Lakers. Blackhawks take on Tampa Bay. College hoops last night. Notre Dame beat Chaminade and Maui. Pennsylvania topped Northern Illinois 93-80. The news, a service of Indeed.com. Are you hiring? Join the over 3 million businesses that use Indeed.com for hiring. You can post a job in minutes, manage your candidates from an easy-to-use dashboard. Post your next job on the world's #1 job site, Indeed.com. 8:33 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher isn't surprised by the media's behavior anymore.
And of course, the media corruption on this is unbelievable. If you're going to report breathlessly on the indictment of Paul Manafort and this guilty plea by Papadopoulos, how do you not include in your media coverage what we found out about the Clinton campaign and the DNC? But they don't even mention it in the media coverage right now. Shocking. The media's corrupt. I know that's news to you, huh?
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Ready for a bad cold and flu season? A cold is a cold, but flu brings fever. Be prepared with the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer, backed by medical professionals everywhere.
Brought to you by Recovery Boulevard Center. Attention, if you're covered by PPO insurance and you or your loved one is struggling with addiction, this message is for you. Help is here today.
I started drinking and using drugs before I was even a teenager. For decades, it was the same destructive cycle. I'd tried to quit dozens of times, but after a couple of weeks, I'd think to myself, maybe I'm just overreacting here. I got this. And boom, just like that, I'd be right where I started, depressed, lonely, and discontent. I'd had enough, and through undeserved grace, was gifted the humility to surrender and ask for help. That was on October 8th, 2012. Today, I've been sober for over 5 years. Are you ready to finally ask for help?
The time is now to ask for help you deserve. If you're covered by PPO insurance, we have the best customized treatment solutions. Call now, 800-736-6216. That's 800-736-6216. We are here. Call today, 800-736-6216.
It is 8:35. Let's get an update on the morning ride to work in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Downtown Chicago, L trains in the Loop are standing at Adams and Wabash. There's police activity there. Edens Expressway, 21 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 20. Inbound Kennedy, delays start at Foster. 50 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 38 from Montrose, 33 in the Express. Outbound, 11 minutes to Montrose, 25 to the airport. About Eisenhower, delays kick in at North Avenue. 58 minutes, 390 to downtown. 43 from Manheim. Outbound, 39 to 390. Stevenson, 50 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound, 36. The Rhine is 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57 clear. Bishop Ford, 22 minutes from 8094 to the Rhine. Tri-state delays are northbound from the Reagan tollway to the Eisenhower. The other tollways are all fine now. 8094 westbound, slow I-65 to Grant, and stop and go from the state line to the Bishop Ford Freeway. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Full of clouds and sun today. Breezy and cooler, a high near 45. Clear and colder, a low of 23. Overnight, temperatures will fall throughout the day. Currently 41. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Mortgage Makeovers, a show walking you through stress-free mortgage options. Mortgage Makeovers, Sunday afternoons at 1 on AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, Joe Walsh here. It seems like every day somebody new is being accused of something bad. Generally, this is a good thing. We'll talk about it when Freedom returns at 5.
All right. Think we're gonna make it.
All right. That was really bad.
That's terrible.
I had food in my mouth. I'm sorry.
Apologize to
our
Christopher
listeners.
Cross's family. Christopher Cross and his family.
He's alive, right?
Yeah.
Well, you never know these days.
Once you keep track of his career, he's a great artist, Christopher Cross. And I don't care if people make fun of me because I like Christopher Cross. How about that? All right. All right. See, it's infectious. You can't stop. All right. Come on. We got business to take care of here.
Let's take a break. Ready? Come on.
All right. I mean, you can't stop. But Christopher Cross, it's just addicting.
Let's ready. Not too late for us. Too late for
Christopher Cross is he's one of those singers where his voice absolutely does not match his body. If you didn't know what Christopher Cross looked like, you would never picture him. You know the best example of that?
The poster you had in your room and
No, the best example of that is the guy who sang "Somewhere Over the Rainbow."
Oh. Okay. Why is my computer freezing?
Remember what's that guy?
Pretzels are making me thirsty.
What was this? This is a difficult name. Israel Kamakawanoli.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah,
Who
remember?
weighs about 4 bills?
Yeah, I mean, and he's got that high voice like Christopher Cross. That's fascinating. I know. You're wondering why we're not hosting the Grammys instead of hosting this show.
Could have hosted the music awards.
All right, now we get to serious business. Remember a couple of weeks ago we talked about this. Star Parker, who is a conservative thought leader. She's the president founder of the Center for Urban Renewal and Education. She's got a real bootstrap story. She was in front of a congressional committee talking about the scourge of abortion, frankly, in the black community. She said this.
Abortion is a leading cause of death in the black community today. Since Roe v. Wade was legalized, 20 million humans have been killed inside of the womb of black women. And then on Halloween, Planned Parenthood tweets out that the black women are safest if they abort their child rather than bring it to term. To the gentleman from Texas who brought up Margaret Sanger, the founder of Planned Parenthood, I think that it is important that we put in record that the needs of those that are most vulnerable in society cannot be addressed with abortion. Abortion feeds a narrative that women are victims, that they have no control over their sexual impulses. And as a result of this narrative being forced down into our hardest hit communities, we are seeing now recklessness in sexual activity, and marriage has collapsed. In the 50s, 70% of black adults were married. Today, that number is 30%. This is causing a lot more social pathologies that have to be addressed through different types of legislation, not the heartbeat bill. The heartbeat bill is to protect the innocent.
And to that thoughtful review of the current situation, really crisis of family in this country generally, but it's most pronounced in the African-American community, she got this response from this dope Stephen Cohen, who's a Democrat from Tennessee. He's also one of the handful of knuckleheads that have filed the articles of impeachment against Trump, along with our own El Gaito.
And I'd also like to say that I am not disingenuous about anything I say about Medicaid or Medicare or LIHEAP or SNAP programs. And to suggest I'm disingenuous shows your ignorance or your absolute inability to deal with Congress people the way they should. I believe in those issues, and I think they're proper, and to say I'm disingenuous is just wrong, and I expect an apology.
I would ask for an apology from the gentleman from Tennessee calling our witness ignorant when it seems to me she has a whole lot more knowledge and wisdom.
She's ignorant about me. Everybody is.
No, I think she's got you sussed out pretty well, Congressman Cohen, because we know how we address members of Congress. The ruling class mentality you heard on display there by Congressman Cohen. For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by the aforesaid Star Parker, president and founder of the Center for Urban Renewal and Education. Star, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. It's good to be with you.
Good to be with you. And so, did you learn something from your little visit to the Hill there about how you're supposed to address our overlords like Representative Cohen?
I've been working in Washington, D.C. the last 10 years, and I have been working in and out of Washington for 10 years prior to that, having consulted on federal welfare reform. So, no, I was not surprised by Coward Cohen because that's what the attitude is of most of those who represent our most hardest-hit zip codes are. They care nothing about their constituents. All they care about is pushing their agenda in Washington, and the agenda of Coward Cohen is big government and abortion, secularism and abortion. So no, it was good though that he displayed for the rest of society and in particular those that he is supposed to be representing down there in Memphis, who he really is. So that maybe this next election cycle they'll replace him.
And he represented something else too, it seems to me, which is an observation that Shelby Steele has made, that black achievement was never the goal of the left. It was always about self-esteem, their self-esteem, not black achievement. And so they're mostly obsessed with their own self-esteem and their own sense of self. By the outcomes of the policy choices they've made, they don't seem to be particularly concerned about black achievement.
Well, that's true, and in particular with the black elite. But what I'm tired of and what we work on at CURE are these representatives who know that their communities are depending on truth. They really need to be told new ideas on how to recover their lives, how to self-govern, and yet people like Congressman Cohen don't give them that information. He represents one of the poorest districts in the country, and although he's not African-American, his district is, so he felt that he deserved to join the Congressional Black Caucus.
And as a result of that, he now promotes these ideas of the Congressional Black Caucus, which is all destruction for those communities. They keep them locked in ignorance, and they keep them then locked in government dependency, which is perpetuating this notion that you're talking about with Shelby Steele to say, okay, there's a haughtiness, not a humility about how we approach poverty in this country. And what's happened as a result is people are more poor. They're making choices in their lives to keep them trapped in that government dependency and that ignorance.
But how can we wake up that segment of the population? I mean, to let them know you're being used. They just want you for your vote. They don't care about your achievement.
Well, there are a couple of ways that you can do it. One is you change the law. Public policy changes behavior. So one of the reasons that we were working on welfare reform, and I'm glad to hear that President Trump is now pushing that closer to the top of his agenda to go welfare reform part 2, is because once you change the law, people change their behaviors. When you reward people for living irresponsibly, then they live irresponsibly. And that's what our federal policies have done over the last 50 years, encouraged people to live irresponsibly. I was in and out of welfare dependency 7 years, 3.5 years consistently. So I know the system well. It's one of the reasons that I, after my Christian conversion, started focusing on policies that are more market-based to fight poverty, because the rules of welfare were don't work, don't save, don't get married, and we'll kind of keep you enslaved to this government poverty plantation. Well, 3 generations later, no one's working, no one's saving, and no one's getting married. And so it has this effect that you're mentioning. I mean, that now people are just so dependent on the crumbs out of Washington that they don't self-govern. They don't try to figure out how to make their own lives successful. Now, that's number one. Number two is that the Republican, the alternative party, must run people in these districts. You know, it's almost not fair to the people, the voters of these hard-hit districts, if they don't have an alternative. And that's what's happened in all 49 of the Congressional Black Caucus districts across the country, is no one's running against these folks. So, and there's no energy there. There's no resources in these communities from the alternative party to say you do have options. And that's a job that has to be done.
Yeah.
As a result of this particular thing, one little point here. Now, I have heard from the Republicans down in that Memphis area, so my team will be going in and probably spending a good week to get information out and maybe even identify someone that can run in that district to challenge Congressman Cohen.
Good. That's good news, and you're right about incurring into the urban centers. I'm going to get to that in a second, but before that, just to develop what you said about how policy changes behavior and your own experience on and off welfare. You know, one of the things that I don't think there's enough courage in addressing is the racism of the left. And the argument that they make about whether it's about school choice or welfare, those people don't know this. Those people couldn't do what I do. They couldn't make the same choices if given the same information, the same opportunity. And one of the great lies, one of the great ways to expose the lie of that racist position is the people that are on welfare are not stupid. They're responding to incentives, and they know the welfare system, as you're describing, better than the politicians who created it.
That's right. You're absolutely right about it. And, in fact, Congressman Cohen displayed that. That's one of the reasons I'm so thankful that you're exposing it even more so and that it went viral, because exactly what you're saying, that racism in the left, he exposed himself, because here I am, who worked in these issues for the last 20 years of my life and will continue to. We are consulting now with the administration as well as with the Congress to get other ideas to the table to dismantle the welfare state, this 50 years of engine of federal government, get it out of Washington, get it back to the states. But the first words out of his mouth, he challenged nothing I said. Now, the heartbeat bill that we were discussing, H.R. 490, is very clear. If the heartbeat is detected, the baby is protected by the 14th Amendment. That's it. It was very, very clear. I had 5 minutes of assessment that was full of data and information. He went after none of that. The part that you played, that was in the Q&A part of it. He went after none of the facts. What he did was go after me personally, because that's what they do any and every time they find any African-American articulate who understands what's at stake and who disagrees with liberalism. They go personally and they attack, and they call anyone white that says, yeah, but, they call them racist. Anyone black that says, yeah, but, they call them sellout. Case closed, no more discussion, and now we have a lot more people that are saying, no, you know what, we're going to challenge that. The case is not closed. You can call all the names you want to. We are going to continue to challenge because what you've done to destroy these pockets all across this country, these distressed communities, you've not only destroyed the human potential, as you're pointing out, these are not ignorant people. They can learn. We see it all the time. When you give school choice options, they get into a new school and they learn. So we know that there's potential. You're not only destroying the human capital, you're draining the society because a quarter of our federal budget are these anti-poverty programs. 1/4. We have a $4 trillion budget, and almost $1 trillion are spent in these anti-poverty programs. And look where we are. Look at the result.
Why do you think African American women who are pregnant or young ladies, teenagers, are targeted and almost as if abortion is promoted to them?
Well, there are a couple of reasons. One, Margaret Sanger. I mean, there is a eugenicist movement that's alive and well that believes that in the survival of the fittest, and that some people are just not fit. As Dan was just pointing out, that there are just some people that just don't qualify for what they think are humans, and therefore they want them exterminated. But also, when you think about liberalism, it promotes this notion of secularism. It's just, you can do anything you want to anytime. Well, there are consequences. So what happens when you have natural consequences to illicit sexual activity, you then end up with challenges. And therefore, abortion now has become a welfare program. It feeds that narrative from the left that you don't have any control of your sexual impulses. It's really funny, this discussion we're having now about sexual harassment and all these other things, where no one's asking if you guys don't even like age of consent laws. Well, why all the outrage over 14-year-olds? You guys are the ones that are promoting 14-year-olds to get abortions, or 14-year-old boys to have gay scout leaders. What hypocrisy is in this? Let's unpack what has happened over the last 50 years about sexuality when it comes to our teenagers, and see if the emperor has clothes or not.
That's a great point. That's an excellent point, really. What the future of urban centers? Chicago. You obviously know what's going on in Chicago. The incidents of violent crime is cities like Chicago that are withering, that are not financially viable, frankly, in the near term, with respect to unfunded pension obligations and the like, and the stratification, people leaving, and so you have the very wealthy that are insulated from terrible public policy, and the very poor. And there's a piece in the Orange County Register by a couple of academics, Joel Kotkin and Alan Berger, where they talk about the future of America is the suburbs and the exurbs. And that future looks pretty bright in terms of better health outcomes as compared to their urban counterparts, more opportunities. And that's where really the momentum is. So, yeah, you have empty nesters that come back to buy a condo in Chicago or L.A. or New York. But in terms of young, upwardly mobile families, they're out in the burbs. And that really portends to be a major problem for helping people that have essentially been generationally part of an underclass in America. And does that need to be part of the message when you talk about urban renewal?
It absolutely is part of the message, because it boils down to one word. It's called marriage. Marriage is when people then move to the suburbs to raise their children. Marriage is what stabilizes communities and makes sure that people get up and go to church on Sunday morning, go to work on Monday, and the children go to school. Marriage is what keeps young boys reined in from their natural tendencies to go out there and be promiscuous and or to be violent. No, when you look into hard pockets like you're describing here in Chicago, you start filtering through all of the rhetoric and you get down to what are the marriage rates. This is where public policy comes in. What we've done over the last 50 years through policies that are supposed to be helping poor people is we have focused more on their poverty than on the social stabilizer. So we've rewarded ill behavior. You're not married, you get money. You're married, you get nothing. So what happens and what needs to happen and what's going to happen, especially with the new leadership in Washington, is we're going to reverse these trends in welfare reform. They wanted to go to health care first. They went to tax issues now. But the discussions are now moving to welfare reform part 2. And all of those discussions are get this out of Washington and back to the communities that it matters to most. So what will begin to reshape in these hard pockets is the people that are in need, who know the system's broken the most, will begin to look at their local leadership and say, something else has gone wrong. You can't blame folks for leaving the hard hit. When they can get a chance to get out, they get out. So we have to now look at liberals and say, why are you guys standing in the way of successful models for them? Why are you standing in the way of us of getting school opportunities, so that the only place that we as a society get to feed into their children's lives is through education? The only way you're going to build a moral framework is if the education money moves so that they can get into schools that do address these social concerns. So it's liberals that have stood in the way of good policy that are going to help the most vulnerable and the most distressed communities. And the more people start seeing that, the more liberalism is put on the hot seat. And that is going to happen over the next couple of years, because there's a lot of energy in Washington to make sure that it does happen.
Yeah, which was the thesis of Charles Murray's book, Coming Apart, about the Champagne socialists who don't preach what they practice. She is Star Parker.
It's interesting
I'm
that
sorry.
you mentioned that, because I want to say one point on that, because look what Charles did. Got it right down to, I'm going to take all the black question out, because that's where we always go. We just go to black. He said, I'm taking all black question out. Let's just look at white. And what did it come down to? Marriage. Social stabilizers, marriage.
Yeah, it's true.
Coming Apart is a good book. Good book.
Star Parker, president and founder of the Center for Urban Renewal and Education, CURE. Star Parker, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. I appreciate it.
And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Check out the Smith & Wesson event this weekend at Shoot Point Blank. All the latest Smith & Wesson firearms will be featured and on sale this Friday through Sunday, and only at Point Blank. Don't miss the $50 in savings on the popular M&P Shield or 15 Sport 2. Shoot Point Blank offers a state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, an extensive inventory of ammo and firearms, and a supportive, knowledgeable team. The Smith & Wesson event is this weekend at Shoot Point Blank. Visit shootpointblank.com for details. Some restrictions may apply. Get to Shoot Point Blank this Black Friday and take advantage of unbelievable doorbuster specials. Save $70 on a Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0. 9mm ammo starting at $9.99 a box. Get these and other great doorbusters this Friday at Point Blank. Shoot Point Blank. Whether you're an expert or new to shooting, their associates focus on your needs. Experience the Point Blank difference this Black Friday. Visit shootpointblank.com for details.
With the holidays approaching, now's the perfect time to purchase 2 gifts and only pay for 1. Or give a gift and keep one for yourself. Yes, folks, the MyPillow buy one, get one free offer is back. I urge you to go online or call now and take advantage. By using the promo code Amy, you'll get the absolute best deal available. I personally love my MyPillows. I get a great night's sleep by moving the fill to give me the support I need, regardless of my sleep position. And I never wake up with a stiff neck or headache. They're made in America. You can wash and dry them. They're hypoallergenic, plus have a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. And it's great to know you're supporting a company that helped thousands of hurricane victims. So get your buy one, get one free MyPillows as gifts or for yourself by calling 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
We are so thrilled with this product. He was literally getting up, laying on the couch, and falling asleep. He's so alert. It's amazing. Totally amazing. This is a great product. His sodium levels have been low for, I would say, maybe close to 20 years. He's normal now. And this is the first time. And I can't even thank you enough. What are you waiting for? Good health is only a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago. That's promo code Chicago. Order today.
DS Arms is the factory direct outlet for firearms and accessories where you can find all major brands of firearms in stock. And DS Arms is an actual firearms manufacturer. For 30 years, they've been manufacturing custom rifles used by police, military, and you. Purchase your rifle factory direct and support American manufacturing jobs. DS Arms can also set you up with automatic knives, spare magazines, optics, and every accessory. DS Arms is in Lake Barrington off of Route 14 in Pepper Pepper Road. Call 847-277-7260 or visit dsarms.com. DS Arms, much more than a gun store.
Hey there, beer lovers. Let your freedom be heard. If you love freedom, patriotism, and the craft beer revolution, then Gun Craft Beer is the brew for you. You can purchase Gun Craft Beer all over Chicagoland. For a list of locations, visit guncraftbeer.com. And be sure to follow Gun Craft Beer on Facebook and Instagram. So salute the red, white, and brew by enjoying the freedom you can taste with Gun Craft Beer.
I hate cleaning my gutters. I kept hearing ads for that gutter guard system, so I thought, why not? I'll get an estimate. I was shocked. I never thought gutter guards could cost so much. Then I heard about Spring Rock gutter guards. The estimate is free, so it made sense to at least compare them. I was shocked again by how much money they saved me. I'm talking thousands, like enough to take my family to Disney World. They take a different approach to gutter protection. A completely closed design keeps all types of debris out of your gutters. Sure, those higher-priced systems may keep the leaves out, but Spring Rock gets the job done at up to half the price with no compromise on quality. Spring Rock also comes with the same lifetime warranty. If the gutter system ever clogs, they will clean it out for free, no questions asked. Same result for less money. That's smart. There's more than one option when it comes to gutter guards. Compare today and save at springrockgutters.com or call 708-571-0632. Special financing is available. Drain your gutters, not your wallet.
AM 560, The Answer.
Thank you so much for making us part of your morning. And a reminder, if you want to help our technical director, Justin Kosick, there is a GoFundMe page set up. Kosick Kidnapping Money Scam. Kosick, K-O-S-E-K. Kidnapping Money Scam. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Now let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
City Council expected to vote on Mayor Emanuel's 2018 budget today. A deadly shooting in Palos Heights. WIND Chicago News Time is 9 o'clock.